dark haze. Ladies of the night with eyes of red, vampires in the alleys where good men dread, wolfmen howling beneath the pale moon. But justice is coming and coming soon. From saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk among us, secrets they keep, nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. Cryptids themselves, yet they stand tall against the darkness, answering the call for every lost soul, every whispered prayer. They fight for the light in the midnight air. From saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk among us, secrets they keep, nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. The night is young, the hunt begins. For against the darkness where hope never ends.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the 400th episode of the Nightmare Hunters podcast. We got three of the four horsemen with you tonight, so I guess it's just going to do the three fingers. But Steve had to be at work tonight. Apparently, the weather's bad, and people are calling in, so he's filling in for a shift. But we're real proud to have you all with us tonight. We are super excited as we've got an awesome show for you tonight. Number 400. That's kind of a benchmark, but we're really shooting for number 500, and can't wait for us to hit that goal. But join me in the studio tonight is Robbie Jed Rains from the semi-frozen state of South Carolina, where the snow is still falling, and Carrie Pocket Doc Davis from Colorado, where the snow has already hit. And here in Missouri, we still got snow on the ground, and they're saying we're getting more come Tuesday. So it looks like winter is here. Boys, how the heck you guys doing tonight?
Wyatt, I am rolling.
How about you, Jed?
I'm warm and above ground.
Y'all are getting more snow on Tuesday?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Let me look at my weather forecaster and see what they're saying.
Forecaster. Love that.
Forecasting to it.
Yeah, open the window and go, looks like it might rain today.
It's snowing. Yeah, it was 60 degrees and sunny here.
Yeah, what do you say? 20%? 20% chance of rain. Right, we'll go with that.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was 60 degrees and sunny here today.
Okay. It topped out at about 17 here today.
I got no pre-step in the future on my forecast. Man, wow.
It's supposed to be 12 tomorrow with a high of 35.
Dang. Yeah, Angie just texted me a picture from Hattiesburg, and it's 27 down there. It's like 40 degrees here right now.
It's like a crisis in the South.
Yeah, it is. People are like, what do we do?
Yeah, Rodney said we got about 4 inches on the ground, and it's about 20 degrees, but according to what I saw, it's supposed to start coming down again around 11:30, midnight, somewhere in there.
Golly, man.
Hey, we got a super chat right off the bat. Thank you, Bobby. Really
Thanks, Bobby.
appreciate that.
Bobby.
Thank you, man. Really
Yeah,
appreciate that, brother. But before we jump into the show tonight, since this is big number 400, Doc's got a little something he'd like to share with y'all, and then we're going to get right into the show. So, Doc, take her away, brother.
The giveaway?
Yeah, I thought you wanted to do that right off the bat.
That's fine with me, yeah. So this was a thing, and I'm sorry, Karen, if you're on right now, we have taken so long, everything's been all over the map. But one of the things we talk about at Dark Angel Medical is how we emphasize education, and so we have a YouTube channel that has some educational videos on there. We have in-person training, but we also have a online training class too that we filmed a couple of years back. And so Miss Karen Polson had said, "Hey, I want to gift this to someone." And the class, not only are you going to be getting an online training class, you have 30 days to complete it. And there's chapter questions and things like that. But you also get the online training bundle, which has a wound packing simulator, training chest seals, training bandage, training quick clot, gauze, regular gauze if you want to practice, because gauze is gauze to practice with, and let me see, and a tourniquet and a practice cat tourniquet. So sometime tonight, I don't know, I don't know how. Do you have a randomizer thing that we can
I do, but I'll have to see if it still works.
Okay. So at some point tonight, we're going to give that away as part of the 400th episode, and so you're going to have not only the training gear to learn how to use this stuff along with the class, but also the class itself. And so if you can't make it to one of our classes, but some lucky person out there in our chat is going to get it. So I think that's going to be pretty freaking awesome. So hope y'all dig that, and stay tuned and stay engaged in the chat, because at some point tonight, you never know when we're going to do it.
So probably be sometime in after the first commercial break, but you never know.
Never can tell. So stay tuned.
Exactly.
Thank you, Miss Karen, as well. So that's a compliment.
Absolutely.
Compliment. Very generous.
Thank you, Karen. We really appreciate it. So tonight is our big 400 episode, and tonight we're bringing you kind of a special one. Now, if you guys thought last week's was creepy, I think you're really going to like this one. This is when the woods turn hostile. True cryptid encounters. True stories of people who met what shouldn't exist. 400 episodes. Yes, sir?
Before we get started, people have been asking, yes, the new Shadow Hunters, Wild Hunt Shadow Hunters book is out and available. The cover still isn't showing the ebook thing, but that's something that Amazon's having problems with. But it's out, available, paperback, Audible, and ebook. Just wanted to
awesome.
get that. So people asking.
I need to update the link.
Yeah, I sent you a message in private chat, but I didn't know if you saw it or not. So
I hadn't yet, but I will try to get that updated sometime during the show. So tonight is 400 episodes. Back when we started this show, the stories were strange. Odd tracks on a trail, something pacing a tent at night, a shadow crossing a fire road. But as the years went on, the encounters changed. They got sharper, more physical, more dangerous. And the people sending them in to us weren't just campers or hikers anymore. They were rangers, deputies, search and rescue teams, fire crews, hunters, families, people that had no reason to lie and every reason to stay quiet. And that shift didn't happen by accident. It happened because of all of y'all. Because you listened, because you shared your own encounters with us, and because you pushed this show deeper into the places that most people avoid. The places where the woods stop being scenery and start becoming something else entirely. Y'all helped build this community, and a community that refuses to look away from the unknown. Y'all helped build the Nightmare Hunter Nation. And before we move forward, there's one thing that absolutely needs to be said. Thank you all for being part of it. Because tonight, we're stepping into the encounters that define what this show has become. The moments when the woods turn hostile and people come face to face with something that shouldn't exist. A ranger steps onto a narrow footbridge in Alaska. The board's slick with river mist. He's crossed it 100 times. But tonight, the bridge moves. Not from the wind, not from the water, but from footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, and perfectly matching his own. He freezes. The planks tremble beneath him as if something massive is walking under the bridge, pacing him stride for stride. The river below, black and bottomless. He takes one more step, and the thing beneath him does too. And then from the darkness under the bridge, two eyes rise into view. Chest height, reflective, unblinking. Across the country in Arizona, a fire lookout jolts awake as something slams into the side of his cabin with enough force to rattle the dishes. The tower sways, the metal siding groans, and something enormous circles below, breathing hard, pacing in slow, deliberate arcs. He grips his radio, and the tower shakes again. Then in Montana, a ranger stops dead on a narrow trail as the forest splits into two separate breathing shapes, one on each side, moving with him, matching his pace, and closing in with predatory patience. He realizes something. He's being herded. And in Virginia, a dead fall tree, hundreds of pounds of solid wood, rises straight into the air and drops behind a ranger with thunderous crack. No wind, no slope, no explanation, just intent. And in the swamps of Caddo Lake, 3 trained officers barricaded themselves inside a boathouse as multiple massive bipeds slap the wall, shake the dock, and circle the structure in the dark. Something hits the siding hard enough to bow the boards inward. The water outside just ripples with movement. And in the high country of Washington, a ranger looks up just in time to see a refrigerator-sized boulder come hurtling toward him. Pushed, not fallen, by a towering figure bracing against a second stone. This one wasn't a warning. It was a kill shot. Episode 400 isn't just a milestone, it's a threshold. And once we cross it, there's no going back. So what happened on that bridge wasn't an attack. It wasn't even really a warning. It was kind of a demonstration, really. A reminder that something out there was watching, pacing, and choosing not to close the distance. But not every encounter shows that kind of restraint. Some don't stay beneath the surface. Some come straight to your door. And this takes us into segment 1, the Talk River Bridge Stalker. Robbie, how about you start us out tonight?
Sure thing. Talk River Bridge Stalker. Say that 5 times fast. Location, Talk River, Alaska. That pretty much sums it up right there.
Yep.
Source, U.S. Forestry Rangers account, unfiled notes, plus verbal interview. The Talk River cuts through the Alaskan interior like a black vein, cold enough to steal breath, even in midsummer. The footbridge that crosses is narrow, old timber, old bolts, the kind of structure rangers cross without thinking, except for tonight. The ranger steps onto the plank, boots creaking in the cold. Mist curls around his ankle. The river below like oil. Halfway across, the bridge shifts. Not a sway, not a groan, a step, a heavy one. He stops. Then the bridge stops. He takes another step. Something beneath him takes the same step. The boards tremble under his boots, vibrating with weight. Far heavier than any known wildlife in the region. This isn't a bear. This isn't a moose. This is deliberate, controlled, matching him stride for stride. He crouches, hand on the railing, listening. The river's silent. The forest is silent. But the bridge is breathing. A low, steady exhale rises from the darkness below. Slow, deep, too heavy to be human, too measured to be an animal in panic. He leans forward, trying to see between the slats. Nothing. Then the bridge shifts again, a long, dragging step that travels the length of the span beneath him. The ranger's pulse spikes. He's trained for predators, for storms, for the kind of emergencies that come with living in the Alaskan interior. He's not trained for this. He steps backward. The thing beneath him does the same. Another step, it follows. He reaches the far end of the bridge and steps onto the solid ground. The boards go still. For a moment, there's nothing. Just the river, just the cold, just the silence. Then, from beneath the bridge, something rises. 2 eyes, chest height above the waterline, reflective, unblinking, locked onto him. The ranger doesn't move, doesn't breathe, just watches as the eyes hold steady. Then slowly, sink back into the darkness. In his official report, he wrote possible large animal behavior. In his private notes, the ones he didn't file, he wrote something else. It matched me step for step. It wanted me to know it was there.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That put a step hitch in your giddy up.
Yeah, it would. Yep. My daddy
You ain't wrong.
Yeah, my daddy preached a revival up there in the Tok River area, Tok, Alaska, and he said it was pretty woolly country up there. So, I mean, standing up out of the water, what did that remind y'all of? That caught my attention real quick.
Yeah, Blunk Road.
Yeah, that caught my attention real quick when I heard standing up in the water. You know,
When he said it was in the water, I immediately heard, "Get in the truck, Robbie."
Come on. Yeah, that's a big son of a gun, dude. Standing out of the water, Miss Lene, that'll put a quiver in your liver. You ain't lying. Standing out of the water that big, and yeah, and what? Okay, and Robbie, you've talked about this. Their behavior. The pacing it seemed like it was pacing him, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's been the generally the encounters that I've had when they pace you. You move, they move. You stop, they stop. And
didn't you have pacing on you in South Carolina?
Several times. Every time me and Johnny went up to that first place that we
that's right.
Every time we got paced out of there. We'd be walking and talking, and you'd hear it walking beside you, and we'd stop, and it'd stop.
I thought I remember you talking about that.
We'd start, it'd start.
Oh no, Sonny Harold is going to have to be admitted for thoracentesis because of having to stop his blood flow. Their procedure will probably be the next few days. Prayers, thoughts be appreciated. Praying for y'all, praying for him, and hope everything.
Harold, we're praying for you, brother.
Very, very well in that procedure, Harold. For sure. Amen to that.
I went to my cardiologist just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Had a checkup. They checked the operation of my pacemaker, and they're sending me in a couple of weeks for an echocardiogram because my cardiologist thinks that my ejection fracture might be healing itself.
Dude, if your EF is healing and getting better, what was your EF beforehand?
I don't remember. I could look it up. I've got the papers, but
yeah.
I don't remember. But it weren't good.
Yeah, dude. If somebody's ejection fraction that's how much blood your heart's actually squeezing out on each beat. For those of y'all who don't know what ejection fraction is, I did cardiac ICU, so that is fantastic. That is fantastic, brother. That is.
We'll know more after the echo, but she said my color's better. I had 0 events recorded on my pacemaker because they were checking it, scanning it. They said nothing. The only thing I had in the last 8 months was 2 incidents where my heart rate increased, and it was probably me doing something.
That's awesome, dude. That is.
Was
awesome.
it any of those times we were out at?
It might have been. She didn't tell me the dates. I should have said, wait a minute, I wasn't late January of last year by any chance.
Speaking of Plunk Road.
Think I can explain.
Yeah.
That would have been the night we got the crap scared out of us.
Yeah. Plunk Road, Moon Valley,
That date? Oh, don't worry about that date. I know exactly.
Yeah, that was fine.
Don't worry about that one.
That wasn't a heart attack. That was good old butt saving fear.
You ain't lying, dude. That's freaking awesome, brother. Congrats.
So I'll know more after the echo, but yeah, my cardiologist was like, I can tell you've lost weight. Your color's better. You can get around better. She said, yeah, I'm very proud of the progress you've made since that was installed. She goes, and I've got a feeling that means your ejection fracture is starting to heal. And she says, we need to know exactly how much, because once we get that, she's going to adjust my meds accordingly.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Northwood got bit by a 3-phase 480 volt line. Dude, you are
Who did?
lucky.
Northwoods?
Yeah.
Northwood.
Holy crap. Where was that in the chat?
I
I
used to
missed
be
it.
an electrician. Yeah, he said, I'm lucky to be here. Got bit by a 480 volt 3-phase line. That ain't no joke.
How
That'll
much,
curl your toes, straighten your hair, and make you feel your draws.
yeah. How many
I've
amps
been
is that?
I've been
How many
popping.
amps is it?
I don't know how many. It depends on if there's any steppers on it or anything like that. If it's enough to put you under.
Dang, dude. That's
I
terrifying.
mean, you can get killed off a 240 volt or 110 volt. I mean, it's the milliamps that go across your heart. It's not
Right.
not
It's
the voltage. That's why. Yeah, that's why when the people kind of sometimes get lost on the volts. The voltage isn't what kills you. It's the milliamps that go across your heart, and that can be caused by a 110 volt outlet. If
That's right. Yeah.
the,
It's the pressure what gets you,
right.
not the voltage.
Yep.
Man, that's scary, man.
It can definitely put a hurting on you, and it can definitely kill you.
Man, yeah. I mean, electrician. I mean, I one of our good friends was a lineman, and I'm gonna tell you what, those dudes earn every penny they make, man.
Yeah, they're out in every kind of weather fixing those power lines.
Fixing that high voltage stuff and high amperage stuff. I mean, I've seen the aftermath of somebody grabbing hold of one of them lines, and it ain't pretty at all.
Hey, House is in the house.
What's up, House?
House.
So, what do y'all think about that bridge, man?
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of weight to make one of those span bridges move.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're built. I mean, they're built to move, but they're built to move so they can
but to shake one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, there's seismic activity up there, but there was no recorded seismic activity during that condition, right? And there was no. What about wind? There's no wind blowing either, right?
Right. Well, the wind and seismic activity wouldn't explain the breathing.
Right. Or the footstep.
Footsteps.
Wind or seismic activity doesn't sound like a freaking footstep. You know what I mean?
Toshi says, "Big nope moment," and I'd never cross that bridge again.
I'd be looking for the bridge troll. You know what I mean?
Yeah, lest you wind up the bridge troll.
Yeah, exactly.
But think about this, DA. We've talked about this before. We've speculated that trolls in European legend were the same, living under bridges.
Funny you should mention that. I was watching Old Line the other day, and they had a lady on there who was from her husband was from Norway, and I think it was Norway. Turns out that the guy, her husband, was describing things that they called trolls that were exactly like what we describe as Bigfoot.
Well, what have we said about Beowulf?
Yeah,
Grendel was described kind of like a Bigfoot.
Sounded like a Bigfoot.
Ripping people.
I think 13th Warrior would have been a whole lot cooler if they'd have gone that way instead of just some primitive tribe. If the Vendole had been, full on like bipedal monstrosities
instead of having bear skins on them.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oklahoma Cracker says, "You can be in the woods where you've been 100 times, then go out there and you don't belong there at that time." We've experienced that firsthand.
Yep.
Several times.
You go there and you're like, one time you're like, oh, this is a nice area. You go there again and it's dead still, dead quiet, and you feel like you're going to be dead.
Joe Ball is a very good example of that.
Yes.
You can go in Joe Ball, sometimes it just feels like just like any other little recreational park you go to. And sometimes, like the time the three of us were there and it started raining and we could, with the ear pros here and stuff, walking and pacing us, you're like, something don't want us here.
Well, I mean, both times that I've been to Joe Bald, DA and I, we've seen stuff. Because that first time that I went there with DA, We were not even 50 yards off that parking lot,
Right.
and saw eye shine. Big
And
eye
movement. And movement.
because that eye shine was moving. It was what would you say? It was like 8 feet, Da.
Yep. Yeah, probably in that ballpark.
I mean, it was big, dude. Whatever it was, and I was like, yeah, we look at the time.
Well, would you look at that?
Yeah.
We got somewhere else to be. Anywhere else to be.
Yeah, I don't think this 9 silly meter is going to do anything against him.
Exactly. We might do the worst possible thing is get his undivided attention.
Ooh-wee, and just really tick him off.
Well, I was just going to watch you boys, but now
Exactly.
Now I'm going to eat you.
Now I'm going to eat you. I'm kind of hungry. I would have the little appetizers first.
Doc was the amuse-bouche.
Yeah,
I was the Wagyu human.
Doc was the mozzarella stick. DA was the steak.
Nah, Doc's more of a bloomin' onion. Come on now.
I'm a spicy meatball.
Again with the bridge thing, look at the consistency of the description of the creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that remind you of?
Everything we've talked about the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Literally. The height, the breathing, the footsteps. I mean, there was nothing there that was overtly aggressive. It seemed like it was just like, hey, I'm here, dude.
It wanted him to know it was watching him.
I want you to know that I'm here. So
He stood up over the bank and went,
Wasn't that Eddie Murphy? You know, and I know that you know.
oh yeah, we ain't gonna finish that. Yeah.
Yeah, no. No, we don't want to get banned by YouTube.
Yeah. Hard stop on that one.
Yeah. But like you were saying, the environmental conditions, there was no wind, no current surge on the river, no seismic activity, so that rules out just order. But then again, also so does the grunting, the pacing, and then actually seeing it.
Yeah, I mean that was like literally when you said that, my mind automatically flashed back to freaking Blanc Road, and me and Robbie were like, "What is that?" Because we had our lights out, and like, "What is that?" And then whatever it was,
Turned and looked at us.
And looked at us and blinked. We're like, "Oh,
well, I think we're interrupting something. Perhaps we should go."
Let's forget about that picnic basket, boo boo." Get the heck out of Dodge, Yogi.
Robbie, unless you can run at 60, I suggest you get in the truck.
Get on out of here. Yeah, that was terrifying. And the whole breathing thing, that's just like everyone we've gone to one of these encounters, they've been breathing at the door, breathing at the windows, everybody could hear them breathing outside the tents. It's just like they know they're there. That's a deliberate move, man. 100% deliberate.
Alan, no, I've never heard of anything like that. I mean, a Wendigo's a corrupted spirit. I don't think it would work with anything else. I don't think it could.
other than maybe other
Wendigo, maybe.
Definitely don't work with a snowmobile.
That's right.
Sons of. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, I still have nightmares about that. Well, I mean, this is definitely a territorial thing. This is this is a warning that and honestly, it pacing itself like that and pacing that guy and showing itself. I mean, that's not like I'm like a polar bear. I'm just going to eat you. That thing that shows it's pretty doggone smart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
It's like I don't need to eat you. I'm just gonna let you know I'm here. That shows cognition, man. It shows cognitive processing there.
I agree.
I had that in Arizona by Flagstaff. Ooh, been there 100 times. Then one time it's like I'm getting out of here for no apparent reason. That is when you go to an area that you've been to many times and all of a sudden it don't feel comfortable anymore. That's your body. That's that scopisthesia stuff we were talking about where you feel like you're being watched. You know what I mean? You know something's there. Of course, Cajun. Wendigo sees Dot with a new snowmobile and breaks out the lipstick and raspberry preserves. That is a fact, brother. That is a fact.
Doc's snowmobile gets prank calls from the Wendigo. It's me again, Margaret.
They got me a live chicken and a weight eater.
It's a beach preserves.
Oh, mercy. Mercy day.
Me
Richie
again,
says today's his wife's 29th birthday again.
Hey, all
My
right.
sister says that, 29 and holding. Tell her happy birthday for us, Richie.
Happy birthday to your whiff.
Isabel Design says mimicry is a very human thing for a non-human to do. So uncanny valley, exactly.
Good observation. That's I didn't think about that. That's a good observation.
So now this is for audience and you guys too. If you're walking across one of them suspension bridges, and we all have, you heard that underneath the bridge, what's going to be your reaction?
Well, I know what Robbie's reaction.
Yeah.
Robbie's gonna keep walking. Well, I mean,
Come on, let's go.
I'm gonna say this. How far along the bridge am I? You know what I mean?
Like smack in the middle.
Oh dear Lord,
Are you going to ventilate the bridge?
That bridge is gonna have a lot more holes in it. I mean, because here's the thing: what if there's more than one? What if there's one?
That's
under?
a very good point.
What if there's one under? What if there's one that was where you just come from? You know what I mean? And you ain't got but one way to get going, and that's to go further. So yeah, straight.
Well, what if the behind you is your only way home?
Right, exactly. You may get blocked off. Straight wall forces, that bridge will double as a toilet. I concur. So yeah, well, Robbie, what would you do? I mean, if
Time to pull the Indiana Jones, cut the bridge, and swing it on to the other end.
Well, Doc could be short round.
exactly, I am short round.
Hang on, Robbie. We're going for a ride.
Yeah, get ready. Here we go. Yeah, I mean that's a good point, man. Honestly, and a bridge, Artemis hits it. Artemis Huntress Goddess, perfect trap. That's a perfect way because they could put one in front of you, one behind you, and one underneath you. You're done.
Well, not a natural. It's man-made, but it's a choke point.
It's a choke point, dude. You know, stick a fork in you. You're done. Put some butter on your butt. You're toast.
You get trapped in a choke point. You ain't getting out of that ambush.
No. I mean, it depends on what kind of armaments you might have because maybe if you had enough heavy enough stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if they're like main house, if they're hunting like a pack, then you could be in some deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
It's a deep doo-doo now.
Exactly, dude. That's some scary stuff.
So what happened on the bridge wasn't an attack. It wasn't even really a warning. It was just a demonstration, proof that something was watching him, pacing and choosing not to close the distance. But not every encounter shows that kind of restraint. Some don't stay beneath the surface. Some come straight to your door. Doc, you want to take this next one? You've been here, haven't you?
I have. I pass through there quite often, heading down to the Valley area of Phoenix and Scottsdale and Tempe. This one is the Mogollon Rim Cabin Impact. This is the Mogollon Rim, Arizona. And this is the source was a fire lookout incident report and unofficial radio transcript. The Mogollon Rim stretches for hundreds of miles across Arizona. It's a sheer wall of pine and sandstone that catches storms like a net. And fire lookouts posted along the edge know the sounds of the forest better than anyone. The wind, the branches, distant thunder, the groan of old wood, the wildlife. But on this night, the sound wasn't weather. It was impact. The lookout is asleep in his cabin, a small wooden box perched on steel legs 40 feet above the forest floor. The stove is cold, the lantern is out, and the only light is coming from the moon bleeding through the windows. Then something slams into the side of the cabin, 40 feet in the air. The entire structure shudders, dishes rattle, the cot jumps beneath him. He bolts upright, heart hammering. Another impact, harder this time, striking the opposite wall. The tower sways, the metal supports groan under the force. He grabs his radio. Base, I've got movement around the tower. Possible bear, stand by. But he knows that this isn't a bear. Bears don't hit structures like that, and bears don't circle. And whatever is down there is circling. Slow, deliberate footsteps move around the base of the tower. Heavy breathing rises through the floorboards. Deep, rhythmic, and too controlled to be panicked and too heavy to be human. He steps to the window, shining his flashlight down in the darkness. Nothing. And then the cabin shakes again with a full body hit against the support beams. The tower sways so hard he has to grab the counter to stay upright. Now, mind you, these towers are anchored in either bedrock or lots and lots of concrete, right, many feet down. He radios again, voice tight, base, I need units en route. Something's hitting the tower. This is not a bear. Another impact. The metal legs vibrate. The cabin groans like it's about to tear free from his anchors. He kills the light, stands still, listens. The breathing stops. The footsteps stop. For a long moment, there's nothing. And then, from directly below the cabin, a single slow exhale rises through the floorboards. Not wind, not animal, something standing still directly under him, listening back. He doesn't sleep the rest of the night. And at dawn, when backup finally arrives, they find deep impressions in the soil around the tower. Bipedal, heavy, spaced far apart. The support beams show scuff marks 8 feet off the ground. The official report lists it as unknown wildlife behavior, lasers. The lookout's private note says something else. It knew exactly where to hit, and it wanted me awake. Bro, to freaking rattle one of those things and shake the tower? Holy crap, dude!
Yeah.
Well, think about the last one. That actually bent bent the leg.
Yeah,
exactly. Bent that support leg, man. And they said that support leg was anchored into bedrock, which is probably what it is up there in the Mogollon Rim. I mean, there's some sandstone, but yeah,
there's a lot of heavy ridges and lots of there's even caves out there. I mean, there's a lot of mountainous rocky soil.
There is. There's a lot of when I'm driving through there, lots and lots of woods and lots of caves. But I can't even imagine the force it would take and how high it was, 8 feet off the freaking ground. So definitely not a bear.
I don't think a black bear could have even shook it slightly.
Yeah, I mean, when they stand up on their hind legs, 6, 7 feet? I mean, with their arms extended, I mean, they can get pretty big, but I don't think it's going to be shaking one of those freaking watchtowers.
No.
You know, that's huge, dude. That's got some serious mass behind it. And then what else y'all notice? It was like all these other stories we've been hearing.
Breathing,
the circling. Remember, it was circling around. All these stories have that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Freaking
print spacing.
The prints, the spacing, how there's too wide, the gate's too big for a human. And I mean, I don't know. Holy crap, man! That's
the height indicators are at 8 feet up. So definitely speaks of a creature capable of standing that tall or at least reaching it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it knew what it was doing. It wasn't trying to test.
Think about it, though. If it hit with the force he's talking about, and those marks were 8 feet, it was taller than 8 feet because you're gonna lose a lot of power if that was the
right.
Height.
If you're just up here doing like that, yeah.
Doc, I ain't lived down that way in a lot of years. Are there grizzlies in the Mogollon Rim?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. I would. Don't make me lie, because I can consult and do some Google fooing. Let me see. Grizzly and Mogollon Rim. It says they were largely eliminated from the Mogollon Rim area in Arizona by the 1930s, with the last silver-tipped grizzly of Escudilla Mountain killed in 1935. Now, while 30% of the Mogollon Highlands is considered suitable, they're currently absent from the wild as far as they know.
But even the big grizzly, that's on the upper limits of how high a big grizzly could actually get its paws up. I mean, yeah, it might stand, 10, 11 feet, a big one anyway.
Right. And Hal's just hit it on the mark. He said, "What if the marks were chest high?"
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
If that was the 8 foot was the limit, it's not going to have that much power. But if it was chest high, that's where all the power would have been coming from.
Chest to shoulder high, like say it was striking it, doing shoulder checks on it. I mean, that's still way the heck up there.
Big steel support beam. I couldn't see a grizzly bear doing anything but scratching its back on it.
Right.
It would have no interest in it.
I love the way they scratch your little backs on trees. But yeah, that's an excellent point, Robbie. Because if that was chest and shoulder high on that thing, you're talking a 9 foot, 10 foot creature right there.
Yeah.
That'd make you poop your britches. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sitting here looking at my ceiling in my little cave here, and it's about 9 foot. And if I saw something that big, I would probably poop my britches. No doubt about it.
Or perform a quick tactical withdrawal.
Exactly.
While emptying every device you have at close to hand, including
my colon, I would definitely, I'd be throwing some biological warfare at him. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a big critter. And then I don't know. Do y'all think it climbed the support beams because they said they heard the breathing right under the floor of the cabin?
It could have. Maybe that would explain why when he shined down, he couldn't see it.
Right. And that's
because it was right up underneath him.
That sounds just like that other lookout tower encounter we had where they said, no, dude, that thing freaking climbed the beams. It climbed up the supports.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they climb like we speculate in the trees, then that probably wouldn't have been a far stretch for it either.
Yeah.
It knew what it wanted to either get or aggravate was up there, so it climbed up there to do it.
Well, it definitely got the desired effect. That's for sure, brother. Holy crap. Wow.
Hey, Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was doing more of the Dan Aykroyd from Great Outdoors. Wow. It's about a 2-pounder. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the breathing, the supports, I mean, all that stuff. It wasn't there to hurt him. It was just there, like I think, like this first one on the bridge. It was just there to let him know that it was there. So a question for the chat audience. So let's say, and you two guys, if you were alone, let's say you're all by yourself, all by your lonesome up there like this cat was, 40 feet up in the air and something starting rattling and supports hard enough to make your cabin shake, you going to stay in or you going to get out? Are you going to try?
Well, I damn sure ain't going down there. If it can rattle a steel support beam, it's going to rattle the crap out of me.
Oh, look, a wood chipper. Let me jump into that.
Yeah. I shall go up and see if I can pet him.
Exactly.
Hey, little big guy.
Oh, it's a good Bigfoot. Yeah. So anyway, I started class. Holy crap, dude. Question: wouldn't its weight have caused sound from the stress on the structure?
Probably not. Towers like that are built pretty solid. It's got to support the weight of the cabin, the equipment, the rangers going up and down. So even if that thing weighed 1,500 pounds, it probably is not enough to really make a structure that solid creak. That's my guess.
Isabel Design says, hope there's a zip line.
and you zip right into the one that was waiting down at the end of the zip line that knew that's what she was going to do.
He'd be like, come on. That is a terrifying thought right there, my man.
I ain't taking the zip line down, not unless that zip line runs all the way back to civilization.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Cut to the SpongeBob thing. DA zip line 2 hours later, and DA still zip lining.
tied my wrist to the thing, and I'm up there like
Be hanging up
still
your,
zipping down. God dang, this ride is long.
your belt would be wrapped around it. Oh my God. Whoo-wee. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm getting awfully clipped.
Doc's got the vapors.
Oh, my stars and garters.
Or you could go the Tango and Cash method and jump out and grab the high tension wire and slide down.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that too.
Yeah.
As long as
That's a good. Northwood's got a good point. If you're gonna have to be up there, flatten the roof off and make it a helicopter landing pad. Just shimmy up shimmy up the ladder, climb in, and get out of there.
Yeah, like he said too, and put a searchlight up there where you can be like Stalag 13. Hogan's Heroes. They got the big old searchlights up there, Face Melter 6000s or something.
Or at least take a box full of M80s up there with you.
Yeah,
it might not hurt it, but nothing's going to enjoy getting M80s dropped on its head.
Put an M80 and tape it to a can of bear spray and drop it. I bet it would not care for that even a little bit.
Homemade flashbang.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering. I mean, do you think bear spray would deter them or tick them off and just make you more seasoned little morsel?
I think it might work to an extent, but Robbie can tell you just as much as I can. I've sprayed guys who've wiped it off and kept coming. So if a human can do that.
And the thing about bear spray is it's not as strong as some of the stuff that we carried in law enforcement.
Right. I've sprayed people dead in the face. They for a while they gave us that foam crap, and
oh shit!
I saw a dude literally just wipe it off and throw it back. That OC foam.
Is that pretty good?
That's what we carried.
Oh yeah,
that's
mess you up.
That's not the stuff we carried. Fox Labs made the stuff we carried. That's 1.4 million Scovilles. Ours was 5.7 million Scovilles.
Holy spicy face, Batman.
You could spray it into a styrofoam cup and it would eat through the bottom.
Bro, I mean, you sprayed dudes with 5.4 million and they wiped it off like it was candy?
Seen it happen. Generally they were high, but I've seen it happen.
And somebody asked about tasers. I've tased a guy who literally went around, grabbed the leads and went, taser, and pulled the leads out with his hand while it was going on. I'm like,
those things are a deterrent. They don't work every time. And officers that think it's going to work every time are in for a very bad surprise because there are guys that just shrug that crap off. And another thing people don't realize is, I pointed this out to my wife and now she laughs every time it happens on a TV show. Stun guns and tasers do not knock people out.
No.
Yeah, you hit somebody with a taser, and then they let go, and then they're all knocked out, and they cuff them up. Does not work that way. The second that taser stops, they are up, and they're fighting.
Yeah. They're going to ride the lightning again. Get them a little Edison medicine.
Right.
But I was, and the reason I ask about the pepper spray, this is a strictly scientific question, because they have, if their sense of smell is so much more sensitive than ours is, could that mess them up? I'm genuinely curious.
I would say it would have an effect. Just to what degree, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
it's anybody's guess. But if pepper spray would not be my go-to move against something that big.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh,
boys, we got about 4 minutes until we got a break for commercial. We've already been going almost an hour.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we just got a couple minutes before we go. We'll start the next segment after. But dude, I would not use pepper spray unless that's the only thing I had to hand, or if I was trying to make it back off instead of shooting it. Yeah, those were my options. Yeah, the OC is going to be there kind of as an emergency deterrent, but I'm not expecting it to work.
Use it if that's all I had at hand. I would not use it, but it definitely. They said it definitely would not. If
might maybe
a handful of implements on the table, one of them being a.
Right. Maybe give yourself some distance.
I would probably pick up a heavy monkey wrench.
Yeah, and make sure you're upwind when you deploy it.
I would chuck a heavy monkey wrench at him before I would pepper spray him.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
I've been sprayed while we were trying to arrest somebody before. It's not fun.
Yeah,
I have to.
Yeah, my mask clipped off in our gas chamber one time because we used to run the gas chamber at the OC.
Rodney can verify that because Rodney was working with. We were working at the same department at the time that happened.
Dadgo. Yeah, that's.
Matter of fact, I think he was my corporal when that happened.
Steve Baden says, people seasoning.
Yeah.
My buddy Forrester that I worked with at Greene County, he printed out a label and taped it over the can of his OC, and our sheriff's name was Arnott. And the label said Colonel Arnott's secret blend of herbs and spices, and they made him take it off.
That's funny. Oh, mercy.
I'm like, come on, that's just funny.
Hello, little man.
But yeah, that's one of the first things they taught us in the academy is do not count on this working.
Yeah.
Because there are people that will just shrug it off. And in order for us to get certified, we've got to be able to get sprayed and keep fighting through it. And yeah, you've got to get hit with it and keep fighting. I got my whole face from like above, like up here to down into, well, I didn't have a beard at the time, instead of mustache, but from here to like here, I got turned orange and I still fought. So if I can do it, I ain't the toughest guy on the planet, but I could fight through it, so I know someone else could too. And I definitely wouldn't count on something 10 feet tall and 1,000 pounds not coming, still coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that would not be optimal at all.
Yeah. Well, boys, we are coming up. We've got less than a minute until our pause for the cause. So, folks, we're going to take a quick pause to pay the bills. If you guys want to step off, grab a coffee refill, get you some hot chocolate, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs, whatever you need to do. Let the dog out, or anything, all of the above. Now's the perfect time to do it because we've got to take a quick pause for words from our sponsors, and we will be right back, folks, and we will see you guys in just a few minutes.
The new book, How to Research a Haunted House by paranormal investigator Margie Kay and professional researcher Violet Wisdom, is now available from Unex Media. This one-of-a-kind book explains how to do research on a house with uncommon methods and resources used by historic home researchers, and how to determine who may be doing the haunting and why. How to Research a Haunted House can be used by homeowners, renters, investors, and it should be in the library of all professional paranormal investigators. Get this unique book at unxmedia.com or amazon.com. That's unxmedia.com or amazon.com.
Hey everybody, this is Kerry Pocket Doc Davis from Dark Angel Medical, and you are listening to DA Ex Machina with DA Roberts. You may recognize me or some of my products from Dark Angel Medical in some of the Apex Predator, Lakeview Man, and Wild Hunt books, and you can get those products at www.darkangelmedical.com, along with training classes on how to use those products and save a life. Shoot us an email at info@darkangelmedical.com and be the difference.
In a world where monsters still walk the earth, one author dares to face them. From the brutal cryptid horror of the Apex Predator series to the Ozark legends that stalk the night in Lakeview, Man. From the elite warriors of codename Wild Hunt to the relentless investigations of the Nightmare Hunter and the frontier terror of Dark Frontiers. When the Dead Rise, the Ragnarok Rising saga unleashes pure zombie apocalypse fury. And across the stars, war rages in the Lost Legion and Man's Marauders. And in the realm of myth and steel, the world of Vanguard calls to those born for legend. Cryptids, zombies, sci-fi warfare, epic fantasy. This is the universe of D.A. Roberts.
And we are back, folks. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Looks like we lost a few viewers, but hopefully they'll pick it back up now that the commercials are over. And we are going to jump into the next section. I think, Robbie, you want to lead us into the segment, then I'll take the segment.
Yep. The lookout survived because the tower held, but not every encounter happens at elevation. Some happen on the ground, close enough to touch. And some creatures don't circle, they flank. Segment 3, the Montana trail herding incident.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is in the Gallatin National Forest in Montana, and the source is United States Forestry Service Ranger Statements and Field Notes. The Gallatin backcountry is a maze of narrow trails, steep switchbacks, and dense timber that swallows sound. Rangers know the routes by heart, every bend, every blind corner, every place where the forest presses too close. This ranger is hiking out alone near dusk. The sky was turning the color of cold iron. His radio was quiet, his pack was light, and the trail was familiar. Then the forest went silent. Not quiet, dead silent. No wind, no insects, no birds. The only sound was his own breathing. He slowed his pace, and that's when he heard it. Footsteps in the brush to his left. Heavy, deliberate. He stopped and looked around, and the sound stopped. He took another step. Something in the timber takes a step. He turns his head, scanning the tree line, but the brush is so thick he can't see anything. Shadows are just too deep. Then from the other side of the trail, another footstep. Not the same one. This was a second creature. Two shapes, one on each side of him, moving when he moves and stopping when he stops. That's when he realized he wasn't being followed, he was being flanked. He kept walking, heart pounding, trying to stay calm, but the footsteps stayed with him, one on each side, matching his pace perfectly. Not rushing him, not charging at him, just guiding him. The trail narrowed ahead, funneled between two steep embankments, a natural choke point. He stopped before entering it. Both shapes stopped too. He stepped backwards, and both shapes stepped backwards. He stepped forward again, and they stepped forward. And he realized something. They were hurting him. He turned slowly, scanning the timber, and caught a glimpse of just a flicker of movement, of something tall moving between the trees. A silhouette, broad shoulders, long arms, much too big to be a person, and walking upright, ruling out a bear. He radioed in, keeping his voice quiet. Base, I've got movement on both sides of the trail. It's large, it's bipedal. I'm being guided. He doesn't say the word herded. He didn't have to. The shapes started closing in, staying just out of sight, pushing him toward the choke point. He could feel the pressure, like an invisible line tightening around him. And then he made a decision. Instead of entering the narrow pass, he stepped off the trail entirely, moving uphill through the brush. It was steep, it was loud, and it wasn't the direction the creatures wanted him to go. The footsteps stopped. For the first time since the encounter began, the forest kind of held its breath. Then, from deeper in the timber, a low, resonant sound rolled through the trees. Not a growl, not a roar, something closer to a warning. Moments later, both shapes retreated, moving away in opposite directions and melting back into the forest as if they'd never been there. When the ranger reached the trailhead, he was shaken, but he wasn't hurt. In his field notes, he wrote, "They weren't hunting me, they were moving me, and they knew exactly where they wanted me to go."
Dude, we were literally just talking about choke points.
Yep, sure were.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder if this was a training exercise, for lack of a better term, with juveniles, and that's the reason that
Teaching them to pace him.
yeah, and that's the reason that they didn't attack him when he moved off into the timber.
Maybe that was the whole point, was just to learn to stalk him.
Yeah, it would be, and I thought about this as you were talking about this, DA, because they were funneling him towards this little pass, right, with two steep embankments on each side. I wonder if there was another one waiting. Bless you, sweet pickles. Bless you, sweet pickles. One more. Wait for it.
Wait.
I think I'm good.
Wait.
I think it. You ever get that brain spike feeling when you kill a sneeze?
Oh yeah, like somebody jams something up your nose.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there was like, okay, so challenge Bogus. Sorry if I messed your name up. I was wondering the same thing. I wonder if there was a third one waiting for him through that pass. I mean, or if they had some sort of, what if they make, because we've heard of these things using deadfalls and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What if there was a deadfall over there they were trying to push him into? I wonder if he would have ever gone back, if he would have found something, some kind of primitive deadfall or something. I don't know. It's interesting now.
Thank you, Michael. But yeah, I think you could be onto something. I think they were trying to push him into either breaking and running, or hoping that his attention would stay focused on them and not realize he was being pushed into a choke point.
And he threw a wrench in the works when he realized it and diverted off the path they wanted him to take.
Because if they'd have popped up and done that to a deer, that deer would have broken and ran right into that choke point.
Right.
That's why I say I wonder if it was training to learn how to herd deer.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, absolutely, man. Because their deer are going to naturally follow that path of least resistance.
Exactly.
Well. Okay, right on. Yeah. Right on, Cajun.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it.
That's just something I was thinking about as you were reading. I was like, dang, dude. I mean, to see one of them suckers and hear one of them suckers, and then all of a sudden you hear thud on your left side, you're like, ooh.
Well, that night down in Moon Valley, when Robbie and I were walking straight toward the two you saw on thermal, we never saw the third one coming in behind us. If you hadn't been watching thermal, it would have cut us off.
Oh, absolutely, dude, because y'all are a good 40, 50 yards ahead. And I was down there, me and Noah were on that bridge, and I saw that. But then I saw something in my periphery on my night vision as I was looking, as I was scanning, and boom, I saw that sucker light up, and it was moving around towards that parking lot. And that's when I called out to y'all. So yeah, I mean, what is that? That shows a lot of coordination, and coordination like that's intelligence, dude.
Yeah, that's definitely intelligence. Nick Borer says, "What if there was a little one and they were driving them away?" That's possible, but it seemed more to me like they were trying to push him a certain direction, not try to drive him away from something. But that's just me. That's just kind of my impression. When he saw the silhouette between the trees, what did that remind you of?
Yeah.
So many other descriptions of these things.
The same descriptions we've been hearing, and the pacing, the pacing was one huge, because that's.
Why do you think they retreated once he left the trail?
That's what made me think.
Once he's in the woods, he's kind of in their territory.
That's what makes me think it was just a training exercise. As soon as he got off the trail, he heard that roar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that was
Mama calling him off.
Yeah, or staff saying, "All right, boys, you screwed up. Get your butts back here. We'll reset."
He knows you're there. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe that was the third one who was observing them. I don't know, man. These are all good hypotheses. Ain't that right, dude? Me and you'd have left, wouldn't we? That's right.
He'd have left whether you did or not.
Oh yeah, Doc be like, "Yep, I'm gone."
Skidder operator says roar equals don't come back.
Yeah. I mean, that had a little bit of territorialism, but definitely that was more overt. You know what I mean? That was a little bit aggro. That's
Cajun says, think about driving cattle. The young and the inexperienced ride drag.
That's what me and you were just talking about the other day, DA. I rode drag many a time.
Arkansas Hog Hunter was saying, I was thinking similar. Perhaps they were regrouping before the roar. And Michael X says, if there's more than a few, best be hoping you have something that has front toward enemy printed on it.
You ain't lying. M18A1.
Dang, Skippy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was coordination. That was smart. They meant to do that.
Yeah, I really think they were trying to push him into that choke point.
Yeah,
make an easy kill.
Yeah, he spoiled their plans. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Wow.
And again,
I think that was planned. That was a planned ambush.
I think if he'd have walked into it and he got killed, fine and dandy. That's all. That they would have took it. But I think if they were really after him, that they would have pursued him once he went off into the timber. Because, like you said, DA, you pointed it out. Once he was in that timber, he was a lot easier pickings to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it that's why just the way it played out after he went against what they were pushing him for. It was just like, okay, y'all screwed up. So you got to make sure it's like, it was teaching. Look, you got to make sure that you push the right way and don't let it get off the trail. Because if it gets off the trail, this is what happens, and then you got to chase. That's just the way it feels to me. I mean, I
agree.
I could be completely wrong, and it could be that they were actually after him, but it just feels like they were just using him as a training exercise.
They were certainly stalking him, whether they were learning how to do it or not. But they were clearly using hunting behavior. Lone Queen says if they're using this design on people, how often does it work and the person disappears? Could explain some of the missing 411s. They said he was just a few feet ahead. He went around a corner and we never saw him again.
Yeah, Dr. Sharp just says in missing 411, there are a couple of cases where they appear to have chased somebody up into a draw, then disappeared them.
That makes a lot of sense.
Makes a whole lot of sense, dude.
Be a smart way for an intelligent predator to hunt.
Yeah, that's tactics, dude. That's tactics.
Dang right.
Just like they were trying to do a franking maneuver on us that night at Moon Valley.
What is it they used to drill into our heads, Doc? Work smarter, not harder?
Exactly. If you got smaller numbers, you better make them count.
Yep.
The term guerrilla tactics takes on a whole new meaning.
Gorilla, not gorilla.
Yeah. Right.
Captain Ron.
Yep. But in this case, it would be gorilla.
Yeah.
Gorilla. Yeah, that's someone.
How would you boys handle that, especially if you're out there alone? How would you handle it? You're just walking along a trail, and all of a sudden you start hearing something gungeeing along on either side of you.
I think I might do what the ranger did, because I dang sure ain't going for what I know is a freaking choke point, and I can't go behind me because he tried that, and what they do, they paced him backwards. So I'd just be like, exit, stage left even.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
We're running. Jumping even. Yeah, I'd be getting the heck out of Dodge. For sure.
Yeah, I think getting off the trail and into the timber was probably the smart move.
It was smart. And he went uphill too, which also gave him the high ground, which is smart. I wonder if he was former military, because that's the way they teach you. Try to get to high ground.
Get to high ground. Yeah, it's defensible.
You got tactical superiority, if you hit the high ground. So, I mean, I don't know. And skidder operator says these things move so fast, one could pick the head off your shoulders in a second. Yeah, I mean, dude, look at Nahanni Valley.
The Headless Valley and the valley down in the Superstitions in Arizona.
Yep.
But they keep finding bodies without heads.
That's right. I remember y'all talking about
that. Great ape.
I remember that cartoon.
Great ape. Well,
Judy McKee Smith says, after listening to this podcast, I don't go into the woods anymore.
Yeah.
We still do because we're idiots.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Little Patty says McGilla Gorilla time. Isabel says, I play strategy games and love stories about what happens when smaller force beats a bigger one. It's because they use terrain and the weather. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Arkansas Hog Hunter says, just like how folks used to hunt wild horse back in the day, run them up a steep holler or draw with one way in and one way out. You can work them at your leisure then. Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Yep.
Yeah. They used to hunt buffalo like that too. The Plains Indians used to hunt buffalo like up there in Chugwater, Wyoming. There's they call it the buffalo drop, and that's where they would chase the buffalo,
chase them off a cliff,
and then go down there. Hey, we got food now.
Hey, primitive man did that.
What's the most famous? What's the most famous use of a strategy like that in the history of war, where a small force that maybe not defeated the bigger force, but sure as heck hemmed them up for a long time?
Battle of the Hot Gates. Yeah, Battle of the Hot Gates, Thermopylae, man. They had a natural choke point, and those dudes they formed that phalanx, and they kept trying to push through there, and it was so defensible. It wasn't until they found they got a traitor that.
Or Doc, another famous incident where a much smaller force stopped a bigger force. Sterling Bridge.
Absolutely. 120%, dude. 120%.
When the Scots caught the British on that bridge and put the whooping to them because the British couldn't fight back. They were stuck.
Well, I mean, shoot, man, even Bannockburn, they were outnumbered. They had a smaller force. Culloden, not so much because they got
betrayed.
They got chewed up by grape shot and all the artillery, and they had the mounted cavalry that flanked them from the right flank. So yeah, dude, that was unwinnable from the get-go. So
good quote, Michael.
Give them nothing but take from them everything. Yeah. So I don't know. I think this one is a good one to add to our books as far as not doing that. Try not to get yourself flanked, and if you do, go somewhere else, except where they want you to go, because that fouls their plan then.
Doc, I think now might be a good time for the randomizer.
All right, right on, man. Is it working?
Let me double check.
Right on. Right on. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, looks like I can do it.
Okay. All right. Drum roll, y'all.
Yeah. Hold on. I think I've got a sound effect for that. Give me a second. Maybe I don't. Hold on.
This is for the online training class and the online training package. Compliments of Miss Karen Olsen.
Apparently I don't have them. Thought I did. Okay. Let me bring chat back up. I just had another person subscribe to the channel.
Excellent.
Folks, you will have to have been actively chatting during you'd have to be actively chatting on one of the YouTube channels. It's even the UNX. I think I can get them both to work. But you have to be actively chatting within the last 15 minutes, or it will not notice you. So give everybody a couple seconds to go ahead and and make sure they've got a comment. All you have to do is just say hi, whatever, throw in a couple emojis. You just had to have made a comment within the last 15 minutes or it won't notice you're there.
Oh, hold on, buddy. All right, I got my handy dandy notepad out here, notebook, and that way we can, dude, what are you doing? That way when we get this, we can, all y'all need to do is DA will send you my email address, and all you got to do is contact me directly, and we'll get you squared away.
And folks, this is completely random, so I hopefully it won't pick me, Doc, or Robbie, but we are in the chat. If it does, by some chance, if it picks one of us, I'll have it do it again, because we're obviously not going to give it to one of ourselves. But it kind of does it. Yes, it has. Okay.
He said,
You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Bing. Steve Padden.
Right on.
Steve, where you at, buddy?
Brother Steve. Steve is a 2-time winner.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he won the EDC kit not too long ago.
Steve, where you at?
Congrats, Steve.
Is he gone? He might have commented right at the edge or something.
No, he's still in. He just commented.
Okay. I hadn't seen it pop up yet.
Right on.
Where's the comment?
He just said, ha, ha, ha.
He said, I'm here.
Oh, okay. There he is.
Here I is.
I'm here. Here I am. Steve, just shoot Doc an email or a message on Facebook, and he'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, he's got my stuff. Hey, and thank y'all for being here. We'll I'll make sure that we have a little something else for y'all on some other shows that we should do some giveaways on. So some special gifts. You might even see some kind of cool med kit that's very frontiersman looking. Wait, nudge.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, wait.
And I think the only ones that know are me, you, and Robbie.
Yep.
Maybe just a little bit.
Maybe.
Well, congratulations, Steve.
Yep.
But being herded is one thing, but being targeted, that's something else entirely. Some encounters don't involve strategy or intimidation. Some are just pure force. Raw, overwhelming, and impossible to interpret it. Robbie, you want to take us into the next one?
The Virginia deadfall incident.
Thank you, Bobby.
George Washington National Forest. Imagine that. Virginia. Source is Ranger Field Report plus post-incident review. The hardwood forests of Virginia are dense, old, and deceptively quiet. Deadfall is common. Storms topple trees, rot weakens trunks, and gravity does the rest. Rangers know the signs: leaning timber, cracked bark, the groan of wood under strain. But this tree didn't fall, it rose. The ranger is hiking a maintenance trail late in the afternoon, the canopy glowing gold with the last light of day. The air is still and the forest is calm. He's alone, but not uneasy. This is his territory and his routine. He stops to check a washed out section of the trail, kneels, and makes notes. That's when he hears it. A sharp crack, wood under pressure, not above him, but behind him. He turns. A massive deadfall trunk, hundreds of pounds of solid hardwood, lifts straight up into the air, not rolling, not tipping, lifting. For a split second, it hangs there, suspended at an impossible angle. Then it drops. The impact shakes the ground. Exploding bark and dirt fly across the trail. The trunk lands exactly where he had been kneeling seconds earlier. He stumbles back, heart pounding, staring at the fallen tree. There's no slope, no wind, no root system to give way. The trunk had simply been lying flat before it rose. He circles it, scanning the tree line. That's when he sees it. A shape, tall, broad, and motionless, standing between two oaks. Just a silhouette. No details, no features, but the posture is unmistakably upright, massive, and watching him. He freezes. The shape shifts its weight, and for a moment he sees an arm, long, thick, ending in something like a hand, resting against another deadfall trunk. A second later, the shape steps backward and disappears into the timber without a sound. The ranger radios in, voice tight. Possible tree fall near my position. I'm unarmed, continuing patrol.
Unharmed. You said unarmed.
Oh, excuse. I thought I said unharmed.
No, you said unarmed. I'm like, yeah, that would suck.
Excuse me, unharmed. Continuing patrol. He doesn't mention the silhouette. He doesn't mention the lift. He doesn't mention the arm. But in his private notes, he writes, "It didn't fall. It was dropped, and something was strong enough to lift it."
Takes a lot of strength to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That reminds me of the wild hunt in the Ouachitas when them big Pete's was throwing trees at the helicopters.
Well, think about that video we watched. Was it last year where something was picking up the tree, that big log, and slamming it, and you see that big arm kind of big reach out and grab it? Exactly what that sounds like.
I mean, the way I look at it, if one of them sons of guns can rip the back leg off of a horse,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it could
or bend the steel support of a watchtower.
Right, exactly. Then I'm pretty sure it could toss a tree like a freaking toothpick or something. I mean, and the thing he was talking about was how that thing freaking rose vertically before it dropped. I mean, that's like he said he knew in his heart of hearts that was not a fall. That was not a tree fall. Not a tree fall.
Well, typically trees don't fall in a flat arc like that either.
Kind of that number.
They don't come down like that. They kind of land on their side. It's science.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty
clearly there was some intent there because it hit right where he had just been.
Yeah. You know, and then what he saw when he was making an observation, looking around,
which was also consistent with other reports.
Absolutely, and how quietly that thing disappeared. Because y'all have mentioned what we call the memory foam feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
How it can kind of smoosh down and not make much sound at all. That's everything. Yeah, Josh talking. Doc, was he practicing the caber toss? I was thinking about that. See a Bigfoot out there in a freaking Clan Davidson kilt. I'm with you, Miss Lene. That ain't natural at all.
No.
At all.
But the behavior's still very similar to a lot of other stories.
100%. The physiological description, the movement, all of that. That would okay. So, what would y'all say? Would y'all say that's territorial or aggressive or both?
To me, that seems more like there was an intent there. If it just been territorial, I could see him going out there and slamming it in the ground with the root wad sticking up.
Gotcha.
But I think probably what happened, and this is just me, and no matter how big and strong this thing is, it's still got to grip that tree somehow. I think he knelt down and it looked out and goes, oh, there he is, grabs the tree like you'd bear hug it, uproots it, and goes to drop it right where the guy was, but he'd already moved.
Yep, makes sense.
I think it tried to squash him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking he was going to, pick out the little bits after the squishy bits after the tree got done with him.
No, that makes sense.
Little tenderizing.
Yeah.
it's a very, very crude meat hammer. Yeah, that's That's
What
it.
Quint say? No shaking, no tenderizing. Down you go.
Yeah, yeah. and like Da said, the whole thing, uh, like, oh yeah, there he is. Let me rip this thing up and throw it at him. Yeah.
Well,
Or
but
even if it was deadfall, it still had to squat down and pick it up.
Oh yeah.
but what we're missing is, remember he said there were no roots on the tree, and he
That's
heard
right.
the stress. This thing broke the tree off to hit him.
Well, okay. So what does that sound like, Da? Those friends of yours in Missouri who had the trees broken in half on their property?
Yep.
And how high up were they broken off?
Like 8 to 10 feet, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, they were
So
snapped off pretty high.
I think it's still like what you said, Da. He's like, oh, there he is, and he steps
Yeah.
behind the tree
Right.
to push it over, but the guy had already moved.
Had he delayed a little longer, he would have delayed forever.
Yep.
Yeah, he'd have been smushed.
Roxanne says, my cats just went crazy, hissing and spitting at the living room window. I looked out and a person was running away from the window peeper. He must have seen the 45 in my hand. Well, keep it close by, because if he comes back, he might need some a 45 caliber explanation.
Yeah, amen. Be safe, Miss Roxanne.
Exactly. Be careful.
You might want to be getting the police on the line, because they could be scouting. They could be part of a larger party,
Right? Or looking for somebody that they can either rob or worse.
Not trying to scare you, but man, you need to. Yeah, I'd get on a horn, faux show.
Yeah, at least get a cruiser to come search the area to look for a prowler.
Grab an
Because
extra.
he might be doing it at someone else's house.
Right. Grab an extra mag while you're at it.
Because DA can back this up. Typically, idiots like that think that we aren't out in weather like this or whatever. So this is typically time that
take advantage.
Grab yourself an extra magazine or 3.
Yeah. Dirt bags. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, dirt bags are very opportunistic for sure. Okay, good. Boyfriend's on police now. Good, excellent. Good. Y'all be safe.
Definitely. So the tree lifting up and dropping, that's not an accident.
No.
Because, like you said, if the wind had done it, it would either kind of twisted and fell, or just came straight down like that, and it wouldn't have been like a guided missile straight to where he'd just been.
100%. Yeah, that's just because if that thing would have hit him, like I said, he'd have been smushed.
Toshi talking about that scene in Lakeview, man, when the guy was peeping in the window went running and the Gugway got him.
jerked him behind a tree.
Clark's like, yeah, we're going to call this in as handled by officer. I don't think we're going to be able to explain this.
Yep. For sure.
So you were chasing the guy, and a big hairy arm reached out and grabbed him and hauled him into the woods. Okay, I'm going to need the 3 of you to go over by the hospital. Yeah. I'm going to need to do a drug test.
I'll get the whiz quiz.
That's right.
Well, all right.
Officer Harriman.
Definitely not officer friendly.
Yeah. So, again, I can't see that being any kind of warning. It was too close and too targeted.
Yeah. I think that was definitely he was trying to tenderize him. Maybe he had a toothache and he didn't want to chew on any hard meat.
Yeah, like his pre-tenderized with just a hint of bark.
It's got an earthy flavor.
It's tenderized and seasoned at the same time.
What are you doing? I get a nosebleed.
There's none of those pesky bones to crunch.
Yeah, exactly.
They're already crunched.
Exactly.
They broke the did.
Yeah. But the silent disappearance, that's pretty telling.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we heard that? You know, when it turned and walked away, made no noise. It was just gone.
Hear that a lot in many of these encounters.
Little Patty says, seems to me the Bigfoot was angry, breaking a tree in two and throwing it at him. Yeah, that's definitely intent. It was not playing around.
He could have been hangry. And was looking
Lone Queen says, his probably memory shot hit dead on the spot he'd been. Yeah, I would say it was probably thinking he was going to be there for a second or two and dropped it right on that spot, but he'd already moved on.
Mm-hmm.
So, is this next one mine or is it Doc's?
It's gonna be yours. That's what I was about to say. You want me to segue you into segment 5? Or actually,
I think this one is Doc's.
It is. Do you want me to segue it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. A deadfall lifted and dropped is no accident. Its strength on display. A demonstration of what could happen if the creature chose not to miss, which I think we've kind of pretty much debunked that he wasn't trying to miss. But some encounters don't involve warnings at all. Some are direct, sustained, and coordinated. Segment 5, the Caddo Lake Boathouse Siege. Doc, take it away.
All right, so this is the Caddo Lake Boathouse. This is in Caddo Lake, Texas, Louisiana border. And this is from the sheriff's office report and deputy statement. So there's some credibility right there. Caddo Lake is a different kind of wilderness. Dark water, thick cypress, Spanish moss hanging like curtains over the channels. The sound moves strangely here where echoes bend and distances lie. Even seasoned officers tread carefully. 3 deputies are patrolling the lake after reports of nighttime disturbances of shouts and splashes and something large moving through the trees. They dock in an old boathouse, and its wooden planks are swollen with humidity, and the structure leans slightly over the water. The night is still. It's too still. They step inside, the flashlights cutting through the gloom, and the air smells of algae and old rope. One deputy checks the far wall, and another scans the rafters, and the third stays near the door, listening. And then something slaps the outside wall hard. The boards flex inward. Dust drifts from the ceiling, and the deputies freeze. Another slap, this time on the opposite side, then another, and another. 4 impacts, 4 different points around the structure. Something is circling them. One deputy moves the window, shining his light across the water, and ripples spread across the surface, large and deliberate as something massive has just slipped beneath the surface. Then the boathouse shakes. A full body hit slams into the siding, bowing the boards inward. Tools rattle, a lantern falls, and the deputies draw their weapons as they back away toward the center of the room. Another impact, and then another. The blows come in a slow, steady rhythm, testing the structure and probing it. One deputy shouts, "Identify yourself!" The only answer is a deep, guttural exhale from outside the wall, so close it vibrates the boards. And then something moves along the dock, heavy footsteps thudding against the planks, and then a second, and then a third. 3. There's at least 3. Awesome. The deputies retreat toward the interior door, but before they reach it, the entire boathouse shudders as something grabs the outer beams and literally shakes the structure. The water outside churns and the dock groans under the strain. One deputy radios in, voice cracking. "Multiple large suspects outside the boathouse, unknown species, request immediate backup." Another impact hits the wall so hard that the boards bow inward nearly a foot. A handprint that's so massive and so wide with long splayed fingers briefly presses through the gap between the planks before sliding away. The deputies excuse me, hold their ground, weapons trained on the walls, waiting for the breach. But it never comes. Just as suddenly as it began, the impact stopped. The footsteps fade and the water settles. Excuse me, silence returns to Caddo Lake. And when backup arrives, they find the boathouse leaning at a new angle. Support beams cracked and the dock partially submerged. The handprint impressions remain in the warped boards, too large to match any known animal. The official report lists the event as, drum roll, unknown assailants. The deputies' private notes say something else. They weren't trying to get in. They were testing the structure and testing us. Dude. I mean, come on, dude. What do y'all think about that? Them apples?
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's not terrifying or nothing.
Yeah. I mean, a big something smacks the thing. I can't believe the board didn't break, number one. But something smacks it so hard that the hand comes through the gap, and they actually see this hand. Yeah, Montauk, damn raccoons. That's the biggest raccoon I ever seen in my life. Yeah, I mean, come on. I don't know, man. If I'd have seen something like that, I might have had a mag dump happening. I'd have been dumping in bridges, dumping the mag. What do you think?
You know, they're probably conserving their ammo. If they're that big, you know, save every round because they're going to have to count.
You better save the last one for you.
Right.
Because, I mean, honestly, yeah, there's positive ID. I get that. But we know it ain't no human being knocking a building askew and partially submerging a freaking dock. You know what I'm saying? That
takes something pretty heavy.
That's a big youngin', as Robbie always says. And there's three of them.
At least.
I think there's probably four. What do you think?
Probably one went in the water.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Good night. Okay, so let's talk about this. So the impact analysis, the handprint was still there.
Smacked into the wood.
It was so large. Okay, what y'all notice about the footsteps? It was bipedal, right?
Yep.
And it sounded like it was extremely heavy. Now, there were no prints outside because they were on wood, but slow, deliberate, big steps. And then as far as them, what struck out to me was they were hitting on all four sides.
Yep. So that says it's got to be more than three.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a coordinated strike. That also shows intelligence.
Where's Caddo Lake? Is that in California?
No, it's right on the Texas-Louisiana border.
Okay.
Texas-Louisiana border.
There you go, Richie. Caddo Lake on Texas-Louisiana border.
Yeah, so I mean that shows a lot of intelligence, man. It really does.
Honestly, that's probably not too far from. I mean, for strictly speaking, waterways and things like that, that's probably not too far from Boggy Creek.
Yeah, probably not. It's part of the same watershed.
Yeah.
Right there in the big thicket country.
Boggy Creek, Arkansas, or Boggy Creek, Texas?
Boggy Creek, Arkansas.
Yeah, it's at Falk, Arkansas.
I'll tell you right now, it's 49 miles.
And is that behavior not exactly some of the stuff that they categorize?
Especially the one that reached through the bathroom window and cured that guy of his constipation lickety split?
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That's the one my brother Keith was talking about. Freaked him out so bad. Yeah, yep. It's 49 miles away.
That ain't far.
And there's a lot of waterways that all connect through there too.
Yep, sure are.
So
they could. That's all heavy, swampy area.
Yeah,
they could have come face to face with the Falk monster.
Could have been.
Well, clearly the Falk monster and his friends.
Or monsters. Yeah, exactly, man.
The Falk monsters.
Yeah, I mean, and if something hits wood so hard to leave a massive handprint in it, man, I could knock your head clean off your dadgum shoulders. You know what
Well,
I mean?
not for nothing, Doc. When you read it, you said the building was leaning one way, and when they got done, it was leaning the complete opposite direction. So for that building to be leaning, that means it's been out there a while and it's settled into that. So basically, they shifted the entire weight of that building to make it settle and shift into the lean in the opposite direction.
Yeah, they cracked the freaking support beam on that thing, dude. That's a heck of a lick to crack the freaking support beam. You know what I mean?
Well, whatever was up there clearly wasn't afraid of the cops or their guns.
No. And when they said identify yourself, and all they heard was this big guttural sound from outside, I've been like, all right, okay, so not a person, not a person at all.
Nope.
Holy schmook. Facts. Yeah, it gave no cares. Yeah, and so Challen has mirrored what we just said. That's a lot of force, and it's intelligence, dude. That is. And for them to coordinate like that takes intelligence, bro. It really does.
Roxanne says, I always wondered if the Fount monster was a Gugway. Well, the tracks in the field had 3 toes.
Yep. The only track that they talked about in that movie that they found with 3 toes was in that bean field for that farmer.
I think there's more than one type of creature down there.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Because that story we read sometime last year, DA, of the farmer that was out on his tractor cutting wood. Yeah. And they came up and
out of the bottoms and ran him off. Ran him back
to his house, and then attacked. I think we kind of speculated that was Gugway, and that was in that same area. I don't remember how far it was from, but it was in that same area around Falk.
It was that encounter that I based Apex Predator Lily Moon off of.
Yep.
Where the Apex Predator guys met Steve Lilly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the same story.
But we actually told the real story on here. I think right after you released that book, we did that story so you could show where you got the basis from.
That one, that one's pretty hairy.
Yeah,
I can just imagine being one of the guys on that call and having to put that in a report.
Dude, yeah, ain't nobody gonna believe you. Yeah, this dude's crazy.
Well, the main house. No, Gugway are not small. Gugway is an Algonquin word that means face eater. They generally tend to be bigger, averaging around 10 feet tall, with a face like a mandrill, and they're highly aggressive.
Kind of like that one in that movie, Primal Rage.
Exactly, that was a perfect example of a Gugway.
Yeah, that was a good Gugway right there, man.
Very convincing.
And it wore armor too. It was scurry.
Yeah, and used weapons.
Yeah, it did. It was scurry.
Like when it come up behind that girl, cut that piece of her hair off, and she turned around, there was nothing that. Ooh.
All right, when you watch that scene when she's hiding in the bushes and it's right behind her, you've got to really look to notice it's there. Yeah, and that was just Hollywood. That wasn't CGI. That was a dude in a suit just standing still.
Yeah, it was camouflaged pretty good, and so I mean that's they some aggro looking suckers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For shiznle. Made me poop.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact, obviously 3 of them, coordination. testing
Clearly.
the structure. Testing the structure. I don't know if they were testing the but I mean, they could have got in if they wanted to. You know what I mean? They could have got in. We all know that. These things are huge. They could have got in. I mean, that thing knew its hand had gone through the gap. I mean, all it was. You think it was testing? I don't know. Was it?
I think they were testing or trying to make them panic and run outside.
Right into their waiting arms.
They could drive them out one direction, kind of like the cases where we found where people like ran from their tents.
Who knew?
Who'd have thunk it?
Who knew?
They probably didn't want to come in because even a boathouse, they're going to be confined because they're much bigger. But if they can make the little guys come out,
Yeah. Let them come to you.
Karen Polson says, feeding on the fear. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because if people get scared, what do? They panic and they do stupid stuff. And they were counting on that.
Steve Payton says, DA, I wonder how well a Gugway would do against a phalanx. Well, if you mean like a Roman or a Greek phalanx with the armor and shield, I'd say they'd probably do pretty good. But if you talk about the shipboard weapon systems the Navy use, I'm going to say the score is going to be U.S. Navy 1, Gugway, a big cloud of pink expanding mist.
Fact.
Yeah, because the phalanx auto guns, they don't care what you are. They'll sink boats with those things. They'll take missiles out with those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Those things. Nice.
Roxanne says, have Gugway been seen in the Missouri Ozarks? Yes, they have.
Dun, dun, dun.
They most certainly have.
Just to make you feel better, Miss Roxanne.
Interesting.
Muy interesante.
It is. Very, very much so.
We've got about 5 minutes until we've got a break for commercial. I don't want to jump into this next encounter yet until we break for commercial, simply because there's just not enough time. I'm not even sure we would have enough time to read the encounter. So let's compare and contrast this last story to the others.
Well, it's definitely a lot more aggressive than most of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was more aggressive than the tree that was almost dropped on the guy, but definitely more aggressive than, well, I guess the one that attacked the. But I would say this was more aggressive than the watchtower. If I had to rank them, I'd say that was the number one, then the tree, and then the watchtower.
Yep. I would agree with that too, Robbie, for sure.
Roxanne, the most prominent one that comes to mind, technically wasn't in Missouri, but it wasn't out of it by far. It was just across the border over in Arkansas at War Eagle State Park, where 2 people on horseback got chased by one. And I believe the other one was up near Lake of the Ozarks, but I'd have to look at my notes. I'd have to dig them out. But that's the one that the one that clearly pops to mind is the one in War Eagle, and it's not very far across the border into Arkansas.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
Here you
go. So again, Robbie, what do you think of the aggression level in this? Do you think they were trying to drive him out? Because clearly they could have gotten in.
I think they were trying to drive him out, and I think, Nick kind of hit on something. We've kind of speculated about that, about fear kind of doing something to, adds a certain.
Well, there are some people who prefer to have their deer or even their steaks, the animal be in fear before it's killed because it engorges the meat with blood.
Yeah. So I think that's a very, because it's like Doc said, we know that these things could have got in if they wanted to, but if they induced and that there too, the predator response, maybe they wanted to chase them. Maybe they didn't just want to reach in there and grab them. Maybe they wanted them to run, because the longer they can chase them, the more fear sets in.
Yeah.
So I think it's very high up on the aggression level. And
it's definitely up on the aggression level. But if they broke those support beams, they probably knew dang good and well they could have collapsed that building on them.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly certain they were trying to force them out.
Yeah, that to me makes the most sense, that they were trying to force them into running. They knew if they ran, especially if there was at least 3 of them, possibly 4. Because like you said, if one of them was in the water, then them getting back to their boat probably wasn't going to help them none.
Probably not.
So I think that's a very plausible explanation for why they didn't just. And two, maybe they just didn't want to dig them out if they collapsed the building, so they were just doing enough to just try to make them run out. So, like you said, work smarter, not harder. You don't want to dig your food out from that building that's collapsed on it.
Yeah, we'll have to work for it.
Yeah,
when you can make it come to you, and I think that was their whole intent, was to try to drive them out of it. Richie says, told my wifey that y'all say happy birthday. Happy birthday to her. Her name's Dawn. Well, happy birthday, Dawn.
Happy birthday.
Roxanne says there's a fictional story of the Gugway siege of Red Oak, Oklahoma. Makes one think, even if it is fiction. I think I remember listening to that. There's a YouTube video of that story. Been a long time since I've listened to it, though. Steve says, DA, if they ran, easy pickings. Yep. Because you're not going to outrun the things.
No. Yeah, because like I said, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it. Yeah, because it's just like the question you asked me. Do you think that the one that was looking at me, you think it wanted? Well, no. If it wanted me, it could have. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, could have had you.
Yeah, and I think that's the, that's the thing here, and that circling back to the ranger that was getting paced and walking into the choke point. Maybe that's why they let him go, because he stayed calm and he did what they didn't want him to do. And, yeah, and maybe that's one of the things that we've been missing on some of this stuff, is maybe that fear response is what they're looking for.
Challenge says force them out with the intention of separating them. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, well, if there's 3 deputies and there was 3 of them, 1 for each of them, I have 3 deputies, 1 for each of you.
I was just thinking that. Lone Queen says coming in the building also means the people have better shots, and who wants to get shot, just like Doc said. Eric Testerman says, I wonder if they like them running for the sport and the thrill of the hunt. I think it's to make them exert, to get those muscles full of blood, to get that heart pumping adrenaline. Doc, everything all right?
Hi. Yep. Yes, sir. All good.
Oh, it is time to make a quick break for commercials. Doc, you got back just in time. It made me look at the time there. So, folks, we will be right back. We're going to take a quick pause for pay the bills, and we will be right back.
In a world where monsters still walk the earth, one author dares to face them. From the brutal cryptid horror of the Apex Predator series to the Ozark legends that stalk the night in Lakeview, Man. From the elite warriors of codename Wild Hunt to the relentless investigations of the Nightmare Hunter and the frontier terror of Dark Frontiers. When the Dead Rise, the Ragnarok Rising saga unleashes pure zombie apocalypse fury. And across the stars, war rages in the Lost Legion and man's marauders. And in the realm of myth and steel, the world of Vanguard calls to those born for legend. Cryptids, zombies, sci-fi warfare, epic fantasy. This is the universe of D.A. Roberts. The new book, How to Research a Haunted House by paranormal investigator Margie Kay and professional researcher Violet Wisdom, is now available from Unex Media. This one-of-a-kind book explains how to do research on a house with uncommon methods and resources used by historic home researchers, and how to determine who may be doing the haunting and why. How to Research a Haunted House can be used by homeowners, renters, investors, and it should be in the library of all professional paranormal investigators. Get this unique book at unxmedia.com or amazon.com. That's unxmedia.com or amazon.com.
Hey everybody, this is Kerry Pocket.Davis from Dark Angel Medical, and you are listening to DA Ex Machina with DA Roberts. You may recognize me or some of my products from Dark Angel Medical in some of the Apex Predator, Lakeview Man, and Wild Hunt books, and you can get those products at www.darkangelmedical.com, along with training classes on how to use those products and save a life. Shoot us an email at info@darkangelmedical.com and be the difference.
And we are back, folks. Thank you guys for sticking with us. We've still got a bunch of people watching. 179 is what I'm showing. It was over 200 just before the break. So we've got a bunch of people watching live. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Doc, you want to take us the segue into segment 6? And then I will take that one.
I'd be happy to, sir. So the boathouse siege showed coordination. It showed intelligence and it showed restraint. But not every encounter ends with a retreat. Some escalate past intimidation, past testing, and into something unmistakably lethal. This is the Washington Boulder assault. The Alpine Lakes Wilderness region of Washington State, and the source of this report is from the United States Forest Service Ranger reports, on-scene photographs that were taken, which are classified now, and debriefing interviews. The Alpine Wilderness is some of the most rugged terrain in Washington State. Steep granite walls, dense fir, and valleys that were carved by glacial ice. Rangers here are used to rockfall. It's part of the landscape. You hear it long before you see it, the clatter of stone, the echo rolling through the basin. But this one wasn't a rockfall. This one was aimed. The ranger was hiking through the high country near dusk one evening, when the air was thin and cold. The sky was turning violet over the peaks. He was alone, heading back toward the trailhead after checking on a damaged footbridge. The first sound above him was subtle. Just the scrape of stone against stone somewhere above him. He stopped and listened. Then came another scrape and silence. So he moved on. A minute later, a boulder about the size of a refrigerator slams into the trail behind him, exploding into the shards of granite. The impact shakes the ground and dust fills the air. He spins around, heart hammering in his chest, but there's no slope above him, no loose rock. No natural path that the boulder would have rolled. It came from higher up. Pushed, not fallen. So he radioed it in. Possible rockfall near my investigating, but he already knows this wasn't rockfall. He moved cautiously, scanning the ridgeline. The granite walls rose steeply on both sides, broken by narrow ledges and pockets of shadow. Then he saw it. A silhouette. Tall, broad, and massive, bracing itself between two boulders on a ledge 20 feet above the trail. Its posture was unmistakable, legs bent, arms extended, hands gripping a second boulder nearly as big as the first one.
For a moment, the creature holds the stone in place with his muscles coiled, and then it gave it a shove. The boulder rolled forward, gathering speed, bouncing off the ledge and hurtling toward the ranger with lethal intent. He dove off the trail, hitting the ground hard as the boulder smashed into the spot where he'd just been standing. The impact sent shards of granite slicing through the brush. He scrambled behind a fallen log, breathing hard and listening. Above him, the creature shifted its weight, dislodging smaller rocks that clattered down the slope. It was moving. It was repositioning, searching for another angle, for another shot. The ranger stayed low, crawling through the brush until he reached a cluster of trees. He didn't look back. He didn't need to stop. He moved until the ridgeline disappeared behind him. When he finally reached the trailhead, he filed the incident report as hazardous rockfall, but the photos he took quietly, without adding them to the official report, tell a different story. 2 massive boulders on the ledge with fresh drag marks behind them, a set of impressions in the dust, wide, deep, and bipedal, and a handprint on the granite smeared with dirt and moss, far too big to be human. In his private notes, he wrote, "This wasn't a warning. This was an attempt to kill me."
Someone gun threw 2 big rocks at him.
And was looking for a third.
I say he was definitely trying to tenderize him. You muted, Doc.
The size of a refrigerator.
Yeah. So clearly, there wasn't some college kid up there pulling a prank on a ranger.
No. Yeah, sorry about
Rock that big probably weighed upwards of a couple of tons.
At least, man.
Oh, yeah. That's solid granite.
Yeah. That's... Yeah, look, Victor just commented. He says, as a former ranger, never discussed my potential Bigfoot encounter with other employees.
I don't blame you.
Yep. A lot of folks don't.
Yeah, why would you, either get laughed at or told if you talk about it, you're going to lose your pension?
Exactly. Yeah. And yet they know that it happens and it's going on, and it's
right.
It's a common theme. I mean, we've heard that from many other stories. Oh yeah, we knew about that. Thanks for the news flash.
No kidding. So, what do you think? Do you think it was deliberately trying to smash this guy, or because that's what I think?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you could say one rock was a warning to get out of here, but a second definitely wasn't, and looking for a third.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was seeking cover and was actively getting big boulders shoved at him.
The drag marks, fresh grooves behind the boulders, show they were moved horizontally before being pushed. That's incredible strength.
I mean, dude, that sucker had to literally lift down and squat those things up.
That's a big deadlift.
Yeah, that wasn't a warning. That was, I'm going to turn this guy into a freaking pancake.
I remember when I was real heavy into lifting, I remember 405, deadlift to 405, and I was 172 pounds. That's a lot of freaking weight, man. These things lifting something, like you said, a ton or more.
It weighs as much as a mid-sized SUV.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we've even heard like that state trooper. The thing picked this freaking SUV up in Alaska and moved it.
I mean, just look at the world record deadlift right now by Half Thor.
Yeah.
Slightly over 1,000 pounds.
Yes.
And while he made it look relatively easy, but he wasn't picking that 1,000 pounds up and slinging it down.
Exactly. He didn't like deadlift it and then press it. I mean, you're talking now they got to do a press to shove it off. I mean, bro, the strength these things have is terrifying.
I may be wrong on a number, but I think the overhead press record is maybe just north of 700 pounds. You know that rock weighed more than 700. And think, I mean, just think about the strength it would take to lift that much, in a strict press. I mean, there's no human up there doing that.
No kidding.
Yeah. That is freaking, that's a lot of freaking, yeah. And according to Google's, the granite would weigh 3,000 to 4,000 pounds. That's a 1.5 to 2 tons, y'all.
That's an F-450.
That is a lot of weight.
Maybe even an F-550.
Yeah. DA, you got people asking about where to find Lily Moon.
Oh, off the top of my head, I can't even freaking remember. Give me a second. I've got to check my notes. Let me check my manuscripts. That would be in a short story collection. It's not Death Stalks Moon Valley. Nope, it's not that one.
Now, Operation Lily you can get that on Amazon and your website, right? But Lily
Yes.
Moon in the short stories.
I'm starting to think I may not have put it in a compilation. Huh. I'm not seeing any of my compilations that it's actually in.
I don't know.
It's not in Death Stalks Moon Valley, is it?
I thought that's where it was, but maybe not.
I'm going to open the document and check. Don't tell me I haven't published this story.
You haven't published
No, I sent it to Cam so he could use it on his channel, and I've never published it.
Okay, Doc, while DA was looking for that,
Yeah.
just a quick check of that. I was a little bit off. The world record right now is 542 pounds for overhead press. Still a lot.
That's insane. That is literally insane.
Yeah, I've got 2 short story collections. I've got Operation Lily and Other Stories and Death Stalks Moon Valley. It's not in either of them.
Now, Operation Lily is where he meets the Wild Hunt, but
Right.
Lily Moon is maybe you didn't. I remember Cam reading it on his show. I thought you'd published it too, but maybe not.
That story's not been published. You know what? I'm going to put that story up on the Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, you should be able to read it later tonight. I will post that story up on the Patreon, and in the next short story compilation, it'll be in it. I've got 2 or 3 other short stories in the works that I need to get finished anyway. One of them is called Where Angels Fear to Tread. It's a Bowie Brothers doc story. And I've got the new short story I've been working on about Clark when he was still, I don't know if it's going to be a short story or a book, about Clark in Afghanistan. So that may actually be a book on its own. But I've got 2 or 3 other short stories set up. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't release that story. I wrote it and sent it to Cam and forgot all about it, apparently. Well, alrighty then. I'm going to have to get that place. I will make sure I put myself a note to put that story up there tonight. So later tonight, I won't have a cover. It's just a short story. I will post Lily Moon on the Patreon tonight, and then hopefully I'll be able to actually publish it here in the not too distant future. However, they do have something on on the Kindle KDP website for authors, they call it Kindle Vella, and it's for releasing short stories. I might just release it on Kindle Vella. What do you think, Robbie?
I think it's a good idea.
Just I'll need to put a cover on it. It needs a cover, but because you just release it one installment, like here or there, short stories. I might, because I've never done Kindle Vella, I might go ahead and see if I can get a cover knocked out for this, and just release it on Kindle Vella.
I would do that, dude. Why not? I mean, if you got it there if you got that availability, then why not?
And I won't have to wait until I've got other stories done. That might be a good thing to do, is just start releasing short stories as they're done. Just write them out put them out on Kindle Vella, and then when I've got 6 or 8 of them, pull them off Kindle Vella, then release it as a compilation of short stories.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be a great idea, dude.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
I can't believe I never released that. I'm an idiot.
Dadgummit, DA.
Damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby, get that tourniquet off your neck. You're scaring Ladybird.
Grab my hand, Bobby. They'll swarm to me.
I was waiting for that.
Doc loves my Dale impersonation.
I do. All right. We're talking about throwing rocks, right? Boulders, not rocks. Appliance size, car size.
Roxanne says I've already put it up on Patreon. Huh. Well, I guess it's already up there. So if you guys want to read Lily Moon, if you're a member of the Patreon community, you can read it for free right now. And then I'm going to see about getting it released on Kindle Vella here very shortly. And if you're not a member of the Patreon, that just happened to pop up as one of the links in chat. You can join the Patreon community and read all kinds of short stories that I've put up there, and get advanced looks at stuff. And tonight I'm going to be putting the back cover blurb for the new project that I'm working on, which is called Hangman's Legacy. And the first book of Hangman's Legacy is the Mount Dora Incident. New characters, different setting, different style. Kevin Boat says, how about putting them up on YouTube Shorts? Maybe. They might be too long for YouTube Shorts. Because even reading one of those short stories is probably still going to take every bit of a couple hours. Well, there's little Doc.
Say hello, everyone. Oh, your ears all flipped around.
Miss Lene, are you talking about Lily Moon, or are you talking about the
Mount Dora?
Mount Dora?
I think she's about Mount Dora.
I'm pretty proud of Mount Dora. I really am.
What I've read so far is really freaking good, man.
This one's really got me excited to have it ready and published. Northwood says, DA, what kind of program would you recommend for text to audio? If you've got a document in Microsoft Word will read it to you. And it's the computer thing. Sometimes it stumbles over pronunciations, but Microsoft Word is capable of reading to you. But if you're publishing a book, I would probably just do the option, like Robbie and I did, to have the AI voice read it. I know it's an AI voice, and I know people are going to say, but you should have Cam. Cam just doesn't have time. I would love to have Cam release all of my books on audio. He just doesn't have time. But, as much as I would prefer to have an actual an actual narrator, here's the thing, and I'll be brutally honest. It's a financial decision. It's not not a preference. Because if you have, like, even with Cam, through Amazon Audible, when Cam and I would work on a project together, I'd write it, he'd read it. When you set that up through Amazon Audible, Amazon Audible automatically keeps 75%. That just boom, right off the top. And you and the narrator split the remaining 25%. So Cam and I were making 12.5% each, basically change off every sale. Whereas Amazon was keeping the lion's share. But if you use the AI voice, you get, what is it, like 46% or something like that, Robbie?
Yeah, something like that. You get a lot more.
Yeah, you actually make more off your own work. But Amazon's the only game in town, so we kind of got to play in their sandbox and by their rules. Ed Peak says, "D, are you looking for when Wild Hunt meets Steve Lilly?" No, that's an Operation Lily. We're talking. It's called Lily Moon. It's when he met the crew from Apex Predator.
That's the one where the Mohawk twins found the Syak tomahawks.
Yep.
That's the one that we were talking about earlier, where the story that we were talking about, DA based that opening of that on the real life story that we talked about.
Right. I wonder. Maybe it might be in Moon Valley. Let me check. Deathstalks, Moon Valley. I'll bring it up just a second. No, it's not in Deathstalks Moon Valley. I'm looking at the table of contents right now. It could have. I should have put it in Deathstalks Moon Valley. Deathstalks Moon Valley has Beast of Lake of the Ozarks, Beast of the Valley, the Monster of Pennabates Creek, where we first meet Rocky Marlowe, the House in the Woods, which is based on, well, something that happened to me when I was a teenager. Wrath of the Dogman, which we introduce a couple characters there that show up in later books. Demons Part 1 and 2, which are both about Margolin. And that's all that's in it. So yeah, this is an unpublished story. Apparently it's on the Patreon, but it has not been published in anything. Oh, Dalton says Amazon killed Kindle Vella back in February of last year. Huh. So the short story's been up for a while on the Patreon. I just had forgot about the story and never published it. So that's gonna have to happen soon. Did we read Lily Moon? Don Donald said, "Did you read Lily Moon?"
I think we might have read Lily Moon when we were still doing the Redneck Reading Association.
I'm gonna have to check because I can't tell you off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to check.
I know we did the first book of Ragnarok Rising. We did. What else did we do, Doc?
Don't make me lie, brother. I can't remember. You got that encyclopedic memory.
Yeah, but that's just knowing what's in the books. It's not remembering which ones we read when we were doing that.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
I think we did. Brian says, yeah, it was on the Redneck Reading Association. I think I'm pretty sure we did.
I can't remember.
Well, okay then. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get that put into a a compilation at some point.
Yes.
Sorry,
Boys,
I got sidetracked.
I got to talk to Angie. I'll be right back.
All right, then. So, that, folks, that was 6 encounters, 6 moments when the woods stopped being passive and became something entirely else. But these aren't just stories. They're patterns, behaviors, escalations. And they raise a question we can't ignore. If the woods can turn hostile, what happens when they stop holding back? So, we saw a bridge that moved with intelligence, a tower that was struck with precision, ranger herded like prey, the deadfall lifted and dropped with intent, a boathouse tested by coordinated force, and a boulder pushed with lethal purpose. All in different states, different witnesses, different environments. But the behaviors, well, a lot of those were the same. Shadowing, flanking, testing, targeting, and escalating. These aren't random events. They aren't isolated incidents. They're patterns. Reoccurring behaviors reported by rangers, deputies, hikers, campers, and first responders across the country. And the pattern is shifting. For decades, most encounters were passive. Sightings, tracks, distant movement, something pacing a tent or watching from the tree line. But these cases, these 6, they show something else. They show intent, coordination, strength, and in some cases, outright hostility. Not mindless aggression, not chaos, but deliberate action. Something in the wilderness is changing. Or maybe it's always been this way or willing to talk about it. Either way, the message is the same. The woods aren't empty. They never were. And sometimes they get hostile. But the people who come forward, the rangers, the deputies, the hikers, the families, they're not telling stories for attention. They're telling them because they survived something they can't explain. And because they know they're not alone. So if you're listening to this and you've had an encounter, something you can't explain, something you've carried in silence, this is your reminder. You're not crazy. You're not imagining things. And you're not the only one. The Nightmare Hunter Nation is built on truth. Uncomfortable, dangerous, often unbelievable truth, but truth all the same. And as long as people keep sending in their stories, we're going to keep going into the dark with them. Because the unknown doesn't get smaller by ignoring it. It only gets closer. Folks, thank you guys for hanging out with us through 400 episodes. We've had our ups and downs. We've had a change of rosters over the years, but we've built a core group, and I'm really, really happy with how the dynamic of the show works. How y'all have become, as much a part of the family as the 4 of us, Steve, including Steve, with that. But we're still growing, and we're still learning our focus. We're still, fine tuning the show. But I think this new format that we use, where we read a story and then discuss it, I think we found a winner, and we'll continue to fine tune and adjust. But I think we've hit our stride, and only place to go is up from here. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We have appreciated you guys sticking with us back from the days when it was just me and Steve and maybe 2 people listening on a good night, to having over 200 people listen to us live at some points. It's an amazing feeling. It's a humbling feeling, and it's been a lot of fun to not only share these encounter stories with you, but to share our stories with you. Stories written by this guy over here, or by Doc, or my stories, or Lucas' stories. Getting to share the stories with you guys is really what it's all about. And something about sharing a good story. It's just an evening well spent, being able to sit and listen to stories and enjoy them, and to kind of feel what the person that experienced it, what they were feeling. And I've said it many times, and we'll keep saying it. Stories are journeys that we take together, and we're very proud that you guys have chosen to take those journeys with us. Since Doc's not here, we'll wait a minute. But as we wind things down, we're going to talk a little bit about the folks that helped us get here, our affiliates. Without them, we might have lost the path some time ago. But Robbie, you want to tell us a little bit about Sigwo Arms? I'm not sorry, not Sigwo. You want to?
I can do
Yeah,
Sigwo.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and do Sigwo.
Sigwo is a company in Missouri, not far from where DA lives. It's a veteran-owned company owned by the Codys. Obviously named after Cody was a warrant officer and he was in the Signal group. So Sigwo, they not only sell firearms and ammunition, they also make their own ammunition in house, and they also do build outs for guns. They sell cans, silencers, whisper pickles, whatever you want to call them. They're a great company. They also have in-house laser engraving and Cerakoting capabilities. So if you want to get the Dark Frontiers logo or the Wild Hunt logo or probably even the Nightmare Hunters logo engraved on your gun that they're building you, they'll be glad to do it. They're the only ones licensed to do that. Just give the Codys a call, tell them what you're wanting. Use code Bigfoot5 at checkout, and that gets you 5% off, which, as DA says all the time, when you start getting into higher priced items, that helps a lot. Also, if you're a first responder or former or current military, they'll give you an extra 10% off of that.
It's extra 5. It becomes 10%.
It comes up to 10% if you use this code, and if you're that, but that can really help out a lot too. So give them a call, check them out online, sigwoarms.com or sigwoarms.com.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them we sent you.
Absolutely. I need to scroll up and find out. Josh, thank you for being a longtime member there, brother. And I got there we go. And I'll talk a little bit about Scallywag Tactical while we're waiting for Doc to come back. Scallywag's another veteran-owned company, and we're very proud to support our veteran and first responder-owned companies. Scallywag makes some amazing blades, just absolutely fantastic knives. And as in the immortal words of Richard Marchenko, knives are like credit cards. Never leave home without one and always carry more than one. And I kind of live by that. I've always got at least 2 on me, sometimes more, depending on where I'm going to be. But Scallywag's an amazing company. They've got some incredible blades. Some of the ones we've talked about in the books are now discontinued and very difficult to get. But I'm very happy that I've got some of the ones that I've got. But they're coming out with new ones all the time. Just absolutely awesome blades. Very, very high quality. And they stand by them. So if something happens, let them know. And their warranty program is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic blades. So check them out at scallywagtactical.com. And don't forget to use discount code DARoberts10 for 10% off your order. That includes the blemish blades, which I haven't seen around in a while, but it doesn't mean it won't come back. So check them out and let them know we sent you. And since we've got the little guy back, Doc, why don't you tell us a little bit about Dark Angel Medical?
All right, so folks, if you head over to Dark Angel Medical, you'll recognize our books, our kits, our books. Our kits have been in both DA's and Robbie's books over the years, and you can head over to darkangelmedical.com and use coupon code Cryptid20 for 20% off of your order and get some of those kits that they talk about in the books. We have those very kits in stock. So we sell anything from small, minor boo-boo kits all the way up to major mass casualty bags. Not only that, we provide the training on how to use those bags, are all the kits, not just the bags. And because we feel that being prepared includes education on how to use this stuff. So all of our products are HSA and FSA eligible. If you ever happen to use one of those products to save a life, then we will absolutely gladly replace whatever you have used to save that life. That's called our Kit for Life guarantee. And I am very happy and very proud to say that we have thus far had 211 lives saved to date, which is pretty.
Oh yeah, brother.
Freaking awesome. You can't, if, like my daddy used to say up in the pulpit, if I don't light your fire, your wood's wet. You hear me? So, head over to darkangelmedical.com. We are a very small veteran-owned, disabled veteran-owned small business. You're looking at the warehouse staff, the procurement officer, the shipping staff, the chief cook and bottle washer, and the janitor all right here. So we get that figured out.
Don't forget Little Doc. He's the supervisor.
Yes, he's the guard dog. How many people can be saved with what's in the Safe Mike Bag Trauma Kit? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 tourniquets, 1, 2, 3, 4 pressure bandages, 2 pairs of chest seals, 4 rolls of quick clot, 2 rolls of gauze. Yeah, depends on the injuries. So you could multiple people could be on there. So it is that bag is made by First Spear up in Fenton, Missouri. So made in the U.S. of A. But yeah, folks, we love what we do. We get everything out to you as quickly as possible. So we're not Amazon Prime. It's just me, Pocket Doc Prime. And so I'll get it out as quick as I can to you. So give us some grace if you order. But if you do order, know that we got your back, and we appreciate each and every one of you for shopping with us. So head over to darkangelmedical.com, get that kit, get trained, and be
The difference.
The difference. All right, that's all I got to say about that.
Awesome. Well, I know somebody that doesn't like to toot his own horn, so I'm going to toot it for him. Robin Jed Raines over here just released his new book, which is set in, it's actually part of the Wild Hunt experience. It's the East Coast team. You guys have heard about Wild Hunt with, Wild Hunt with an H, Sorry.
You broke Doc.
You guys know the Wild Hunt books. You've heard him mention the West Coast teams, the Alaska teams, the East Coast teams. Well, Robbie took the East Coast teams and ran with it. And this is a first of a new series about the East Coast team, and they're a little different than my Wild Hunt team. They're smaller, faster, and they hit hard. And this book is called Shadowhunters Project Manticore, and you really need to check it out because it is a dang good book. You guys are going to like it. It's fast-paced, high action. The violence is tight and swift. You guys are going to like this book. So get yours and see if we can help Robbie push this book into a #1 spot.
Heck yeah.
And that would be absolutely awesome. While you're checking his books out, if you haven't checked the other ones out, he's got 7 more. So you got plenty of books to work into your library and check them all out. And you can find all of Robbie's books through this link. Actually, it split it into 2 links. So there's the other one. There's the link. Check it out on Amazon.com, where you can find it in print, Kindle, and audio, along with his other books. And I think you would definitely gonna like those. And while you're at it, if you're going to be checking out his books, would hope you would check out another fine author, Luca T. Jacobs, who's a friend of the show, a fantastic writer. She does mine and Robbie's covers as well. She's going to be doing docs. And so check hers out. You can find all of her books on Amazon.com or at lucatjacobs.com. Fantastic writer. She writes about cryptids and things that go bump in the night. And you can take her books and just drop them straight into the DA verse, and they would fit perfectly. Same kind of stories, same kind of tight pacing. You're really going to enjoy these books. Check them out. Oh, well, Miss Lene says she's listening to Manticore now and loving it. Awesome.
And just to give y'all a little what DA said about them being different, they're based on the Marine Corps MAGTF principle, and like he said, it's just a smaller unit. The Midwest is basically the center of everything. So if anybody needs a lot of backup, that's where that comes from. So this was just an idea DA and I had to just make this more like a QRF, which is a quick response force. So it's a little bit different than the Midwest division, but I think you'll like it. It's DA had to get on to me at first because I was really heavy into the military lingo, and he was like, "Well, if anybody knows what they're reading, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about." But you need to kind of back it down.
I want to throw some footnotes in here for some folks that don't know.
Yeah, it's good.
It is a very good book.
Yeah.
Introduces a few new characters. Brings back, and it's all about spreading Gideon's bloodline out amongst the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, the fight that is coming, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy the climactic events in these storylines as they wrap up and we move into another bigger storyline. But yeah, check out Luca's books at lucatjacobs.com or on amazon.com, where they're available in Kindle print and audio. And while you're at it, you can check out mine. Mine are on daroberts.net or amazon.com. Also, Kindle print and audio. I have 37 books currently in print, and I'm getting close to putting the next the next Wild Hunt book into edits. It's going to be called Wild Hunt, codename Wild Hunt, Leviathan Down, and I'm getting a lot of great feedback on it from the Alpha team. Really liking that they're enjoying this story so much. It's going to be very high action. The stakes are higher, and yeah, this one's going to be intense. And we're gearing up toward a major fight at the end. So look for that to be coming hopefully in the next few weeks. And there are others coming on behind it, like including the new project that I've been working on, which is called Hangman's Legacy. It's a Western type, kind of Longmire type. Think Longmire meets Dark Winds and Kolchak the Night Stalker. It's a modern cowboy tale, deeply rooted in encrypted and supernatural lore. So I think you guys are going to like it. The first one's going to be called the Mount Dora incident, and I'm really happy with the way this story is coming along. It's not just about a group of cowboys fighting monsters. It's about the bonds forged in blood, the brotherhood, the loyalty, the camaraderie, and I'm really liking these new characters. A whole new cast of characters. You won't see a single familiar name in this first book, but you might in some later books, because if you guys might recall, Rocky Marlowe's family owns a ranch near Clayton, New Mexico, and that's where this book is set. So there might be some other people show up in a future point, but this first book is just going to be these new characters, and I think you guys are really going to like it. So it's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to have it finished and out there. I think you guys are really going to like it. So check out all of my books again on Amazon.com or daroberts.net, and support your favorite authors. Make sure you're leaving them a review, a like. Every review counts. Believe me, Amazon doesn't even really start pushing the algorithm until you get at least 50. 100 is even better, because that's when they start including you in the newsletters and things like that. So I'm not just talking about this for my books, which I would definitely appreciate it, but for Robbie, for Luca, for any author, and when for Doc's book comes out, definitely leave a review, even if it's just a single word, great, or great book, or something like that. Every review counts, and it helps push us into the algorithm. And let your favorite authors know that you appreciate what they do, because you never know that every author out there, myself included, has often looked at what they were doing and said, "This sucks. Why am I wasting my time? I shouldn't be doing this." I've been there. Every writer in history, from Stephen King to J.R.R. Tolkien, has felt that at some point in their career. So you never know, that one little bit of encouragement might be what it takes to keep them writing. Support your favorite author, because nobody's getting rich in this unless you're Stephen King or Jonathan Mayberry. Most of us are on a shoestring budget and are lucky if we're paying any bills at all. So if you support your favorite authors, let them know what you think, because your support means everything to the authors in this community.
Doc, you want to give an update on yours?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you may tell you. Yeah. So my book is going to be a part of the Dark Frontiers, the Nightmare Hunters universe. It is titled Dark Frontiers, Vampire Chronicles, Angels of the Wilderness. And so Robbie is helping me with the formatting. Yeah, Steve, it's a short story. So
emphasis on the short.
Yeah, emphasis on the short. Robbie's helping me with the formatting and everything out now, so I've learned to love and hate Grammarly and all the things that DA and
I warned you.
oh my God, all the things. I'm going through all the pains, and Robbie and I have talked, DA and I have talked, and it's been an experience. It's been a learning experience. I hope y'all like it. I hope y'all love it. I've enjoyed writing it. It's been very cathartic for me, very therapeutic for me. And I'm once this goes to publishing, I'm already into chapter 6 of book 2. So if you like a good Western, hunting vampires, things like that, I think y'all are really going to dig this one, and you're going to see these knuckleheads as well, and I think you'll definitely enjoy the dialogue, and you'll see a lot of historical characters because I've worked really, really hard since I'm a history buff to make this as historically accurate and have the same timelines as possible. And Robbie was even commenting on that today. So so when it comes out, we'll keep y'all on it. Luca's working on my graphics and everything right now for it, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to getting this out to and see what y'all think. And I hope y'all like it as much as I've enjoyed writing it. And like DA's said many times, write something that you'd like to read.
Write the story you want to hear.
Write the story. So I think and I hope that y'all do. Robbie seemed to like it. DA seemed to like it. So y'all, I hope y'all dig it. So it'll be we'll announce it as soon as it's ready for publication, and I'm going to do the same account thing that Robbie and DA do. So it'll come out in different formats, paperback, audiobook, and Kindle as well.
Awesome.
I should be done with formatting at the latest by sometime tomorrow afternoon. So you should be able to get it to Luca and be ready to rock and roll pretty quick.
Perfect. That'd be great. And all I got to do is create my account and everything. And so, but I have these two guys here to thank for sure. Because if it weren't for them inspiring me, I don't think I'd have ever taken it. And like DA said, dude, you've always had the story. You've had the story for over 20 years. You just needed to flesh it out. So
yeah, and that's something Doc and I talked about, and we really didn't even think about it, but we both owe this knucklehead a lot because we both had these stories rolling around in our heads for 20 plus years each, and probably neither one of us would have ever pulled the trigger on it if we hadn't met DA.
100%. He's been nothing but encouraging to both Robbie and myself throughout this whole thing, and said, "Hey, do it, man. Nothing wrong with that. Get it done." So I think y'all will like it.
Talking to him earlier on the phone today, I was like, God, I sound just like DA when he was talking to me because I'm saying the same things to him that you were saying to me, and I'm like, yeah.
It's been an education, and hopefully y'all be able to keep it rolling for y'all, and we can make the universe do good things.
Well, Doc, you're learning now why I say when I wrote my first book, what I really learned was how not to write a book.
Yeah. Dude. Oh my gosh, man. Woo-wee. It is.
And I warned you about Grammarly to keep this PG and not get us killed by YouTube or by the radio station. Grammarly is Samuel L. Jackson's favorite word.
Oh, bro. Me and Robbie were talking about that today, and then I didn't know how to operate it, and then I sent it to him and then unformatted everything I'd formatted, and then he was telling, I was like, oh my God. So I had to redo another 3 hours of stuff. Went to bed at like 4 this morning. I was like, oh, just let me get done with this. So yeah. Yeah, it's been an education, like I said, brother.
And like I said, that's the exact same thing he did to me, because when I sent him my first draft of book 1, the first rough draft, it looked just like what you sent me today or yesterday. It looked just like that. So he sends me back, sounds good. He said, now, you ready to fix it? And I'm like, fix it? What are you talking about? And he goes through the same things that I went through with you today, and I had to go back and indent space and do all and take all the hunt and take all the stuff out. And I'm like, oh!
He said, this is not that needs to be italicized. I said, do you mean it's not italicized? What I sent you? He's like, no. I was like, oh, sweet baby Jesus in a golden diaper. Just I got to redo it all over again. So
The first time I used Grammarly Pro, I don't remember which book it was, but the first time I used Grammarly Pro, I finished the manuscript and went, okay, now I'll run Grammarly over this, fix whatever it's got to point out, and I'll be ready to go. And I clicked on Grammarly and let it go, and I watched the little counter scrolling up, and I'm like, 21,000 errors?
yeah, dude, I'm sitting
Holy
here.
crap!
I'm sitting there. I told Robbie, I said, I have learned now. I'm using Grammarly as I write each freaking chapter to help.
Leave it on.
Yeah, I have it on in the background so that it's not. I'm not going through a whole book.
He said, "Yeah, I copied and pasted." I'm like, "You didn't have it running in the background?" And he was like, "No, I didn't. What are you talking about?"
I was like, no, yeah. So
I'm
yeah,
just glad I called you when I was only 4 chapters into doing it instead of waiting to. Because I started to just go ahead and do everything, and
brother, I'd have had a stroke. Seriously, I'm just like, oh my Lord.
Yeah, that's kind of like not turning Grammarly on until you're done is kind of like getting a slide bite from a 1911. That's a self-correcting problem. You get it once, you'll never do it again.
And Robbie, I told him what I was doing, just like I just said. He's like, "Yep, that's the way to do it, man. Saves you a lot of time and trouble, for sure." So, yeah. So thank y'all, and thank y'all in chat. I hope y'all when it comes out, I hope y'all will get it, and I hope more than anything, I hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely, and I know they will. It's a well-written story.
Thank you.
And the coolest thing about watching these two progress, that Robbie's well into his writing career and Doc's just starting his, but the coolest thing is watching them find their own voice. Because that's what I told him. I said, you can't write like me. Don't try. You can't write like Stephen King. Don't try. Write like you. Write your voice. Write in your voice. And Doc's book reads like Doc's. So does Robbie's, but Doc's especially. You're like, yep. Where's Jed to translate this one?
Oh, and Jed does do the translating. And in book 2, you catch Declan with some rare humor, and he's actually translating as well, catching everybody off guard. So, I think
that's the thing. When you write Declan, you can tell it's Declan, but it's a little bit different from the way DA writes Declan. Same thing when I write Declan.
Absolutely.
You can tell it's Declan, but it's different from the way DA writes him, and it's different from the way you write him. It's still him, but it's like DA said, it's in each of our voices.
Well, it's okay. Each of us has our own perception of ourselves, right?
Right.
And we have our own perception of each other. And so it's our perception of who that person is. So I think it's pretty awesome, man.
You know what it really reminds me of? You remember the episode of King of the Hill where they were in the fire department burnt down, and they were talking to everybody, and everybody told their side of the story from their perspective. And it gets, everybody's Hank's stories this way and Dale's stories this way, and it gets to Boomhauer. Nobody ever understand Boomhauer. DA knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love that episode.
Boomhauer's in there. I was just sitting on the couch watching reading a Popular Mechanics magazine, but everybody else's story, Boomhauer's but he's talking but everybody else is talking like he talks. Like Hank and Dale and all them have Boomhauer's voice.
Being all eloquent.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it's like, Doc. Because each person thinks, okay, this is how I sound. This is how DA sounds. This is how Doc sounds. But it's totally different coming from you than it is coming from DA than it is coming from me. It's wild to see that you can tell who the people are, but there's just little minute differences.
It's true though, and like Miss Lene said, she hears Val Kilmer when she reads reads an excerpt. Hey, DA,
Yeah.
do you mind if I read something from the Black Hand so they can hear it?
I don't mind a bit.
Okay, so this is if you've read Dark Frontiers 1, and if you haven't, you should. Y'all should all read Dark Frontiers 1, but this is a little blurb from whenever they had met in Dark Frontiers 1, and I am going to read so you can hear what Doc's voice is. I'll read a blurb of it. And if I can pull it up here, here we go. All right, stand by. All right. Which one was that, Robbie? A revision 11?
Yeah, 11.
Yeah. 11. Scottish 11. May put a voice
11.
like the left in Scotland. At 8. Okay, so here we go. So this is where they meet in book 1. And so and they're in the saloon, and come on now. This thing is not working well for me. Okay. Declan has just met Doc, and Doc says, he's going into Nightmare Hunters, and everyone is excited and highly receptive to the idea. And Jed looked over at Doc and said, well, there you go, Johnny Reb. Now we can all have some folding money if you're willing. Well, from our initial communication, I had hoped to arrive here and possibly set up practice, Doc said with his liquid drawl, looking at Jed and then everyone else around the table. But from the looks of disdain which I have received from the inhabitants of this fair metropolis upon hearing an accent which belies my glorious yet unwelcome heritage, I feel disinclined to grace them with my skills. Perhaps the badge adorning my attire may alter their perception of my station. Moreover, gentlemen, this seems a much nobler and more worthwhile endeavor. He looked over to Jed, smiling, and winked. Jed just shook his head, smiled, and looked over to Declan. He said he's in. So there you go. Y'all heard it here first.
Absolutely.
And
So,
there's another
thank you,
line
Jed.
somewhere. There's another line somewhere before that when Doc first starts talking, and Declan looks at Jed and says, "Does he talk like this all the time?"
Yeah, he always talked like that. And then Jed said, yeah, but it kind of grows on you like a wart. So I hope y'all enjoyed that, and thank y'all. So I'll shut up.
It's going to
now.
be awesome, Doc. People are going to love that book.
I'll shut up now. So thank y'all.
But folks, as we wind things down, again, we want to thank you guys for 400 episodes, and hopefully we'll be around for another 400 more. But at the end of the night, we always want to mention the 22 a Day Foundation. We lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and that's 22 too many. So reach out to your friends and family that are first responders. Reach out to your friends and family who've served in uniform as a veteran, or if they're still on active duty, let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know you care, because 22 a day is 22 too many. And let's get that number down to 0 where it belongs. And we always close her out with a toast from an old Irish drinking song called The Parting Glass. It's a beautiful, haunting tune. And the chorus of it kind of goes like this. It says, "But since it fell into my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be to you all." Good night, everyone. Slán Jama. Thank you guys for being with us for 400 episodes. God bless each and every one of you. And we'll see you guys next time. Good night, folks.
Thanks, Bob.
Slanja.
Dusty plains, the winds are howling, saloon doors swinging, shadows growling. 3 lawmen stand tough as rawhide. Yeah, Doc and DA, nothing can abide. Whiskey shots and poker faces, staring down the darkest spaces in this town where legends roam. These boys bring justice, sending evil home. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall endless night. Jed's a howler, claws of steel. Doc's a biter, makes the devil real. But DA's a shifty one, a shape-shifting soul. Can turn to anything, takes any form, takes control. Tonight the chupacabras come to town, sucking the life from all around. But these lawmen, they ain't afraid. They'll face the darkness unafraid. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rain. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Full moon rises, bat wings flap, the air grows cold, a chill and trap. But these lawmen, they're ready to fight underneath the pale moonlight. Jed and Doc transform with a howl. DA shifts, becomes a night owl.